Yo, 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 what up, everybody? It's your boy, Jewelz, and we are back with another podcast. I don't even know what number this is because I forgot, but we are here with my guy, Uno. Uno has been a major supporter of the channel. He's become a really good friend of mine, and I'm happy to have him on here.
Cheers.
Uno is a content creator on YouTube, and he's a dope content creator, all right? And he's really good at video games, so make sure y'all go check him out, all right? And he's repping the Jewelz gear right now, so shout out to Uno for that. What up, Uno?
This guy. What up, bro? How's your day?
It's going pretty good, man. Just got done doing some editing and stuff, so I used my time wisely. And we went on another walk, you know, our nature walks.
Got out to nature.
How's your day going?
Oh, no complaints. Chill day at work. Well, some complaints, but gave me an excuse to get the motorcycle ready. Let's just say that. We're down a car. We shouldn't be. We are. So I got to get the motorcycle ready. And it's hot as hell outside right now. So if I start sweating like crazy, part of it's the ambience. I feel like I'm too small for this show yet, man. Like,
come on now.
You're big time. You're big time. I'm gonna be sweating over here. You got me sweating. Look at that. I'm sweating over here.
He's trying to boost me up as if I'm somebody. Say it. I am somebody.
One of the biggest somebodies I know. I mean, you is somebody.
So are you, rich guy.
I'm wearing your shirt, bro.
Hey, if you got a shirt, I'm a cop it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, see, I am not that big yet. I'm not that big yet.
All right, man.
I just go out to real nature.
See, we're not even going to get into that. Well, maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But
we'll get into that.
All right, so let's talk gaming, man. Let's talk gaming. What is the best game you've played on every console, including PC, that you played?
Man, I could only answer that going chronological, I think.
Exactly.
So,
yes, please.
I'm an 80s baby, right? I'm an 80s baby. We got to go to NES, starting with the Nintendo. I remember my babysitter at the time brought it to her house, and it was just like, we didn't know what to make of it. We just knew it was going to be epic. Somehow, I think it was like 3 or 5 years old, somewhere in that era. And I just knew, I don't know what this thing is, but it's going to be phenomenal. And it was maybe around 8 or 9, I got introduced to Contra. And ever since then, I don't think Nintendo put out a better game than Contra.
It's hard to get better than Contra.
It started me on shooters.
Yeah.
It started me on the shooter road. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time you would go to like Round Table Pizza, right, and do the arcades, you always look for that Contra-like game if you couldn't find Contra, right? So, like, Contra was it. Like, there was some fun games, don't get me wrong, that came out for Nintendo. Legend of Zelda, things like that. But, like, really, when it comes down to it, I spent probably more time, even well after the game was beat and done, going back to playing Contra.
Probably because you used the code to get through Contra, and then you were like, let me try
What are you talking about?
Try to get it without it.
What are you talking about? What's the Konami code? I don't know what that is. I didn't use it right away. Right. And I did beat the game before I learned about cheat codes. But, I mean, back then it wasn't a cheat code. It was just you want to try something different code. You're only cheating yourself. That's you true. Ain't online. No, online wasn't even a thing yet.
Go to the store, get the book. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Tips and tricks.
So what after that?
Oh, man. All right, so after Nintendo, we go to Super Nintendo, and that's where it gets blurry, man. Like, I felt like genres started to come together at the Super Nintendo realm. Genres started to come together, and it was either, I think it was Donkey Kong Country was like my favorite level game. The one with Diddy Kong. I think it was Donkey Kong 2 when they brought in Diddy Kong. That was just shits and giggles fun, but Mario Kart right? Mario Kart comes out for a Super Nintendo, and you could start getting some crazy like versus modes against your homies. I think I lost a couple friends to that game.
Jesus.
Competitive nature. Well, what else? I don't think there was any major shooters I can recall from Super Nintendo. Because it jumped to Nintendo 64 when GoldenEye came out. And basically everything on Nintendo 64 was just, like, how did it compare to GoldenEye, right? 007 GoldenEye. Every game was just compared to that. And like, even Perfect Dark knew that's exactly what it was doing. So they just copped up some of the levels from GoldenEye and re-released it with this new skin, and that was just another game of it. So those are the two for the Nintendo genres. A buddy of mine, though, so like I didn't play video games for a long time after the Nintendo scene because my mom's was a single mom. We couldn't afford shit like that, and so I had to go to my homie's house who had like Sega, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, the little attachment to your Sega Saturn, whatever the frick that thing was. He had all of it. I don't even know what they were called.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to have any like grasp of Sega games that I really like because it was all like I didn't get to choose what we played. It was I would go to my homie's house and I was victim to whatever he wanted to brutalize me in, and most of the time it was Mortal Kombat. So I fell in love with fighter games because of Sega Genesis, though. I'll tell you that. Sega and I think Dreamcast. I think Dreamcast is the one that did SNK. It may have been Sega. But when they did Capcom versus SNK, I probably swore off every other genre of video game for a long time and just became a fighting game gamer. Right? It was just that was it. It was game over for me. I would go to like liquor stores and hustle people. I'm like little 10, 12-year-old me over there. Just like, hey, man, you got a quarter? All right, cool, though. I got next game. All right, cool, man. Get out of here, man. What the fool? Who the fuck you think you is? The fuck out of my fucking liquor store, fool. It was rough, but, you know, that's how we did it, you know, and like, I remember when I went to my elementary school, there was a liquor store 2 blocks away, and it's like the same liquor store we hit up right before we go to high school. It's like my elementary school and my high school are in almost the same direction, and we started in elementary like learning the hustle there, and by the time we got to high school, it was what was that? Marvel. Street Fighter and Marvel, whatever that one was called. Capcom versus Marvel. Okay. I don't know. Did you ever play that on arcade?
No.
See, well, I'm doing all of them. I'm hitting not just console. We're hitting arcades because I was a big arcade player too. Out in California, there's an arcade scene, or at least there was. Yeah. Right? If you went to the mall, right? Like we had Tilt, we had all that at the mall. But like for us, it was
out there in Cali. You know. Yeah, because you are big time. So
we're the same age. Right. We're the same age. I don't know. But like arcade was massive for us. Like we grew up. If you weren't, it's kind of like how I imagine hooping is out there for you guys sometimes, right? Like hooping is a big deal too over here, but not like it is East Coast or even like in your like area, the neck of the woods. But over here, for some reason, arcades were. Right, like everyone was like, you would just go to your local. Yeah. Like that was a way of life. You would literally take your skateboard down to the liquor store, and you would just spend like $5 on like quarters, just spending your entire afternoon ripping people off at the arcade, right? And sometimes, like when it got competitive, because like everybody would want to have next. Basically, you started telling people, okay, you gotta pay. Like if you want to play. You gotta, like, if you lose, you gotta pay. Like, for my next game, you gotta pay to play for me as well. And so it got brutal for a minute, right? Like, people would be gambling on the side on who's got what, you know, and like, it was a little cool little side hustle we had going. There was days I never paid. I paid for my first game to get in, and then after that, I didn't pay for another another quarter was put in the machine, and then I just had to go to school. Few tardies, not gonna lie. Okay, so then that was my fighting game scene, right? So I think we got to Mortal Kombat 2 on Sega, and then Sega just fell off. Like, my homie just stopped playing Sega. What came out? I want to say it was the 64, and then right after the 64, we gave up 64 for the GameCube, and we went back to fighting because it was 64. It was Mario Kart 64 all day, every day, with a few other games peppered in there, like some just fun. I think Star Fox was pretty cool. Like, it got me back into shooters, right? Things like that, but Mario Kart 64.
Well, that
100%.
Those
I know, like
the main two. Yeah.
Those were it. Yeah, right. Like, if I wasn't ripping someone's ass on fucking GoldenEye, I was tearing it up on Mario 64. You couldn't see me on a race, and you couldn't see me in multiplayer. Like, battle, couldn't see me. I had 3 balloons to everyone's death. Like, you just couldn't see me. Couldn't see me. Still couldn't see me today.
Switch?
I got a Switch. You gonna try and see?
I might not, but I'll send MK after your ass.
You can't.
You ain't beating her. That's the one game that girl is much better than me at.
Bro, man, I got the
Mario Kart.
I had the super slide, jump over walls. You couldn't hit me with nothing. It took a blue shell or less to get me out of first. That was it. And then if it was Battle Royale, good luck. Just good luck. Literally couldn't even see me. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. Fuck, after GameCube. Oh, actually, it was around the GameCube time. My homie built his first PC, and this is when PCs were like first. Like, everyone's like, "Oh my god, PC gaming! It's gonna be the next thing." So they did the acrylic door, right? Nothing like what we have now. It's like the glass panel or anything like that. It was acrylic, and it was like, oh my god, you could see the internals kind of thing, right? And he was the first I knew to do anything like that. And he got a Star Trek game, and it was like you just travel the universe, you built your own ship, you could like you attack people. It was like an online MMO game, if I remember right. And after you attacked the ship, you could like abduct the people from the ship and make them like your prisoners and shit, and then or destroy their ship entirely. I mean, it was pretty intense, but it was the first time I ever saw graphics that blew my mind. And I was like, all right, PC gaming is going to be legit. And so I started my interest in PC gaming with that Star Trek game. And then I went home, and my grandpa across the street built a PC and introduced me to Wolfenstein, Doom.
I knew about Doom and Duke Nukem. I never played Wolfenstein.
You never played Wolfenstein? Wolfenstein was the first. If I have my gaming facts right, Wolfenstein was the first person shooter game ever.
I think
it was just like Doom, and it was zombie Nazis.
I never played it, bro.
You never played it? Oh, dude. Zombie Nazis, man. It was awesome. It was literally just you against zombie Nazis.
See, we had a computer in like 95,
so that was
right? Like, and it was like the biggest thing, right? And I downloaded Doom on there because that was like the big thing. And I didn't understand PC gaming, so I was just like, I didn't even want to play it. I was like, I just go play my right.
WASD shit.
Go play on my console, like F it. So I just never played it until 2017 PUBG. You know what I'm saying? Never had a. Right.
What a time to be alive. Yeah, dude, Wolfenstein changed the game though. It had like secret rooms, so like you thought you played the game, and then you'd go play it again, and you're like, I've never even seen this spot. What the hell is this? There was like secret areas, secret missions. The bosses were just insanely overdone. It was nuts. It was basically Contra to the next level, right? But I mean, I look at it now, and I'm like, man, I think it was 32-bit, maybe 64-bit, The graphics would make Roblox
Right. Yeah.
look amazing, right? Like
Pixelated.
but we
blood
thought
and
it
everything.
was
Yeah.
stellar because it was the first time you ever had 3 dimensions. Every other game was 2 dimensions. You ran left and right or something like that, right? Or you were looking down or something. This one had depth. Like you ran through hallways that would go past you and stuff. Your enemies would be coming from all different sides. You could act like people could come from behind you. That was another thing in a leveling kind of game. Everything before this, you ran one direction. Once you got to a certain speed, you couldn't go back. Right? The camera's like, oh, I'm sorry, you've passed this area. Fuck off. Like this one, you could go all the way back to the start of the level, right? It was the first game that I could recall that you could basically run around and just get lost in a maze, still playing a game. So then Duke Nukem and Doom were basically rip-offs of that. And then it was just all about who could out-gore the next, right? And Duke Nukem was just who could out F-bomb everyone, right? Like Duke Nukem was just like the shock value. This is it's a game, but it's like, look how gory it is.
Yeah.
Listen to the words he's saying, and all the cheat codes were around like making it worse, right? So I'm like, okay. But those were my 3 on PC for the longest time that just blew my mind, brought me into the PC gaming realm. I veered from shooters for a quick minute, and I dabbled with RPGs with Diablo 2. I know life Diablo 2 for 6 months, like some people play WoW now. Like, it was sad. I basically no lifed it. It was all about leveling up my characters, just insane. I can't remember if there was guilds back then, but like I definitely had a solid group of people I'd always meet up with. We'd go do quests and stuff and then log off after playing probably 6 hours. Like to play games for 6 hours back at that time, because you're talking I think I'm 13 at this point. Like video games, you got to remember, like every year like it was a generational gap, right? Like of a console, right? Like we talk about like games and consoles and the Switches, and it was basically every 2 years it was a new console and a whole new genre of games came out, and it was just basically, if you didn't keep up, who the hell were you in the streets? Like you couldn't talk to nobody if you weren't playing the right games on the right consoles at the right time. And so it was like, from like the time I was 7 to 13, all of this changed. And by the time I was 13, consoles started to dominate the market again because PCs started becoming way too expensive. The games weren't keeping up with what consoles were doing. Consoles were compact. You could take the cartridge or the disc to your homie's house. Yeah, game sharing was a thing. Game creators weren't money-grubbing little assholes that were like, oh, you got to download the game, and you got to download the game, and you got to have an account, and they got to have an account just to play. It was like, you could have LAN parties with 16 people hooked up to 4 TVs, and I think 4 people had to have the game, right? Like, that was all you had to have. It was just because you needed 4 consoles to play with 16 players. That was the only limitation. And that was the best times because we did that. We had LAN parties starting with Xbox, the original Xbox, Halo, and then Halo 2 changed, I think, the way I played video games, because it went from, I got some spare time, and it started to feel more like it did when I was in elementary school, in the liquor store on the corner, hustling people for quarters or even candy, right? And it got serious. I mean, we're talking now. When Xbox came out, I was 16, or maybe it was end of high school. It was high school time. Xbox came out. I can't even remember. I think it was end of high school actually. Or no, that was 360 when that went end of high school. So it was definitely in middle of high school. And we
360
got
didn't come out till
serious.
2005.
Uh,
Right.
yeah, so that's after high school, and that's when I got my nickname Uno. Everything before that, it was just whatever. I don't even remember what I would buy in game. I don't even think you needed to have a profile. It was just you logged on and it was player 1, player 2 kind of stuff, right? Or you were named whatever the character name was, like Master Chief, and then whoever else you selected. You didn't have a profile name. So yeah, Xbox came out and Halo was it. 360 came out and it was Halo 2. When Halo 2 dropped, like you said, it was 2005. It was a blur because now we're mixing my gaming life and my party life. Alcohol gets involved very heavily at this time. And so do plans for the night, right? It would be like, all right, we're gonna start over at this homie's house. We're gonna get a 16-man LAN party going. Whoever loses, that team had to buy that night's alcohol and food. That was the gamble, right? So it was competitive because we're not talking lightweights. We're talking like $200-300 of alcohol and food per night. And we did this. We were weekend warriors, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. We got down big. And we had a pre-party, an after-party, or a pre-party, the party, and an after-party all lined up. Basically, when the cops came knocking, we just moved to the next house, right? So that whoever lost, you had to have all these parties ready to go as far as supplies go. And it was the most fun I've ever had playing games sweaty. And it was sweaty. We learned all about the assault rifle, what do we call it? The Battle Royale plasma cannon, or the plasma pistol combo, right? And if you didn't know about that, you were dead in the water. And then we started learning about some hacks in Halo 2. It was the rocket sword cancel, and you could start sniping people with a sword.
No, I didn't play Halo, bro. No.
We didn't compete at the same levels.
I did not play Halo, bro. I didn't play. No, I
didn't play Halo 2.
I hated it. My homeboy, B would play it, and I was like, no, "Hey, wait,
gotta go.
Bro,
We're done."
All Call of Duty, bro. Nah, bro, I was all Call.
You didn't play Halo?
I was Modern Warfare, and then I was COD 2.
Modern Warfare didn't come out yet, though. Yeah, we ain't there yet.
Playing COD 2, and that shit was, and we were doing LAN parties for that, and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. We were playing that in 2005 as well. So like, I wasn't messing with Halo because I'm like, yo, this is like real life type soldiers, like real, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it was
right
for me. I didn't like.
It's a whole different world.
I never played Halo. I never have played Halo. I still haven't played Halo.
The first time I played Call of Duty was also the first time I ever picked up a sniper rifle in a video game. I tried it. I tried sniping in Halo 2, but I felt it was too slow. Like the quick scoping was actually too slow, and I could do better with a pistol from longer range. That couldn't figure it out. But like Halo 2, I was a pistol sniper if anything. I did pull some crazy shit in Halo 2 with a sniper rifle when people started hacking some of the wall jumps and shit. But I feel like the first time I really got into sniping was, I think it was the original Call of Duty. I forget even remember what that one was called. Was it the Brothers or whatever it was? It was like a World War II edition. Whatever one that one was. All I know is I basically lost friends quick picking up a sniper rifle because this is before headsets were around. You were a slave to whatever TV system you had, and when you're split screening, footsteps mean nothing to you.
It is what it is.
So that was it, right? It is what it is. But when nobody knows the map and all I'm looking at is through I'm ADSing down a window into a hallway and you're just like, I don't even know where you're looking, I would just be so brutal to my homies. I would snipe them twice. They'd go back to the same spot every time. And then by the time they figured out, because they're screen looking, oh, you're in this window at this angle, I had switched around to another spot to pick them off when they went to try and counter snipe. And I would just be waiting for them in the hallway for that one and pick them off there 2 more times. And it was just this ugly mental game where I was just picking them off from the shadows. And I was just maniacally laughing, kind of like this TikTok video I seen today, where a homie of mine sniped one of their homies from across the map. That slow laugh,
No.
you know, that evil,
Nope.
just fucked up. Like you're gonna lose a homie because you laugh like that. Like I couldn't stop laughing at him. Just every shot, I felt bad because they were having the worst time of their life. Just losing it, destroying controllers, and I'm laughing hysterical because I can't stop. It's just like, I'm sorry. Just, again. Oh, that was probably when I fell in love with Call of Duty, is because of that. But I literally was sworn off from snipers. My friends would not play with me. They literally would not play with me if I had a sniper rifle. So I had to learn how to play with assault rifles. And that's why even to this day, like, I love sniping, but 9 times out of 10, I'll snipe with an assault rifle in my hand because I had to. My homies just wouldn't let me play with the sniper for the longest time. It wasn't until Modern 2 and online multiplayer became more because modern warfare came out and online playing became like the new norm. But I was still like mentally trained to like pick up the assault rifle. I was like, oh, my friends will hate me if I pick up the sniper rifle. And then I was like, wait a minute, Modern 2 comes out. And I was like, why am I still doing this to myself? I'm picking up a sniper rifle. I'll go back to this thing. And I remember Afghanistan was my map and the snipers was my class. And I just remember that laugh came back. Gaming became gaming to me again. And had I known what YouTube was then,
I'm telling
and I had
you, bro.
the technology
I'm
then.
telling you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the shots I pulled. Yeah, you know, the fun we had, bro. I wish I had known you and Average, based on, like, especially with Average's videos. I went back, like, before he got rid of some of his stuff, I went back and watched some of his stuff. I swear, it would have just been nonstop maniacal laughing with our play styles. Me and you, especially, our play styles are so similar now. And then just watching how Average was with the sniper rifle, it would have just been nonstop hysterical laughing. And I had a crew back then, especially in Modern 2, that carried through to Black Ops even. It was the same. Like, every day you would log on, you had your, like, crew of, like, 8 or 9, like, close homies that you would pick your best 4 or 5 and just squad up and wreck lobbies with.
It was crazy, bro. Like,
That was it.
Literally, like, you get off of work, you go home, and you just fucking hop on until you go to bed at midnight, you know, and then you do the whole day all over again. It's just like,
that was it.
Just to have no responsibility, really. I mean, obviously you had to work and probably pay for rent or, you know, whatever, but still, it was just like, you just, that's all you would do is just game. Yeah.
You just made it happen. You made it happen. That was it, right? Like life was literally like work, game, party, rinse, repeat. That was it. That's all it was. Like Monday through Thursday, it was work and game. As soon as Friday, Saturday, Sunday hit, it was game, don't lose, party, repeat. If you lost, oh man, work the next week was so vital.
I gotta make this money.
It's like I gotta recover. I gotta make this money back, man. Like, oh, it was brutal. But oh man, yeah, Modern 2, hands down, because I went back to sniping, because of the map design. I felt in the map design in Modern 2 what was some of the best map designs. They changed the kill streaks to be more controlled, and by the user. Like it wasn't just like
Right.
choose the kill streak and it comes out and does its thing. It was very much like you point and click where it goes. I loved the integration of that. I loved the weapon building and experience. How like the modeling, I guess, that the game created, right? Like to get a better weapon, you had to be good. You had to earn that weapon class. But at the end of the day, eventually, everyone capped out. Everyone had all the same attachments. Everyone had all the same weapons. There wasn't perks. It was just player skill versus map knowledge, and that's all it was. And I love the simplicity of it, right? Um, and to some effect, the only thing that really changed in Black Ops and Black Ops 2, which Black Ops 2 later became my favorite
100%.
iteration of Call of Duty, but I felt like it was because of Modern Warfare 2, right? Because if I remember right, that was when they were switching from Infinity Ward and Activision every other year would be the designer of the game. And you always knew when it was Activision putting it out because it was always by far and away the better version, right? And so, like Black Ops was good, but I don't remember it. I don't know if you ever fell prey to it or talked about it. The spawn rotation was broken, absolutely broken. You could get spawn trapped horribly
Yes,
in
but I
Black
was
Ops.
mainly doing the spawn trapping.
I even I hated doing it though, right? Because like think about it, like if you had a squad that could decimate a lobby, like as soon as you set up your the alleys, the other team had no chance. Like it wasn't even. I could literally play one handed, just sitting there like staring at the screen, just
Right.
because like there's no recoil. You know, you barely even had ADS. As long as you had the reticle right where they were going to move, and you saw the pixel movement, you just took the shot, headshot every time, right? Like it almost wasn't fun if you had the right spots, right? Sometimes
It
you
was
had
the
to
same
like
for
watch
Modern
two different
Warfare
areas.
as well, bro.
Whatever.
Like
No, Modern Warfare 2, what they did is they allowed for, and this is the difference, you could overthrow buildings and walls with grenades and whatever not, and counter the spawn traps. It was hard, but it was possible, right? And you had to gear yourself up for it, but you had flash grenades and you had grenades that could actually counter any spawn trap. And I love the fact that they designed playable maps that you could like throw grenades over buildings and stuff like that, or over the walls and counter it. I think that was when they introduced wall banging.
I'm not even sure. I don't know.
Was wall banging came was more prevalent? I think wall banging happened in Modern 2. Modern 2 because that was on Breakdown or Broke Down or whatever it was, with the helicopters down the middle. There was a few walls you could wall bang there. Nothing major. But by Black Ops 2, basically, if it's not a brick wall, you could wall bang it. And wall banging was where it was at. And you had to put FMJs on everything just to wall penetrate. And basically, that's why I like Black Ops 2, is because at no point in time could you ever be spawn trapped if you knew where the angles were. You could just pop anybody camping through any wall. It was awesome. It was great.
Was by far the greatest COD ever made. I don't know what it was. Like, I literally could just run and gun. I'd play it for like 8 hours a day, and like I would just like literally just run and gun, and at the end I'd be 40-3.
What was your favorite? What was your
Man,
favorite
the
run and gun
PDW,
class?
bro.
Like,
The PDW was by far the best gun I've ever played with. Like, if I had a PDW in my hand, it was a wrap. It was it.
is a clap.
And so
My buddy told me, I want to say it was Black Ops 2, the Razorback, with an extended barrel, and I forget the other attachment. There was two attachments that made it. It was a broken gun. It was like the first time Call of Duty ever had a meta, and they were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna keep it." And I remember it was a Razorback, and I ran that gun until the day I bet you if I were to log in right now and turn that game on, that's the class that I still have. And just like you were just talking about, I named my classes exactly what I was planning on doing. I had a run and gun class, and I had the Razorback ready to go. with the sprint ready, like perk going and flash grenades. That was it. And then I had. That was the first time I think they did overkill.
Maybe.
I want to say.
Maybe.
Or at least that's the first time I used overkill. And that's when I ran an AR sniper combo, and I love that. I loved that. And then I hung out with COD a little bit after that. I think it was the Advanced Warfare. They put the one with the camera that you could put behind, like facing anywhere and watch the corners. Is that Advanced?
I don't know. Advanced was the
Let's say
boost
it was
jumping.
Advanced. It was almost yeah, I think it was. It wasn't like future, but it was like,
right.
All right, we're getting real close to Halo here. It was the one right before Ghost.
I hated Ghost.
I fucking hated
The
Ghost.
TTK
Everyone loved Ghost.
It was too fast.
Thank you. See, now we're
too
friends
fast.
again. It was
camped
just
way too much.
I hated the map layout. I hated the TT. I hated that game. Yeah, I think I played that game for like 2 days, and I was like, nope. I still own it. I probably want to throw it away still. But the one before that, I want to say it was Advanced Warfare, when they put the camera. That's when I was like, okay, now we're starting to get away from player skill, and it was about the class that you built, right? Because I could always, I basically was unstoppable. You put the camera in a certain spot, and you could camp any area, and you could see anybody coming from a mile away. If they destroyed your camera, you just knew to go watch that door and kill them, and then move along to somewhere else where you could just like head glitch or something like that. So I wasn't really a fan when games started going that direction, and especially when Call of Duty went. I think it was Advanced Warfare 2, and it was like robots. It was the same time that what's that? Was it Atlas or that mech game came out where you had like a mech and a soldier?
Yeah.
Titanfall, thank you. That was when Xbox One came out. If you didn't have that, you didn't have the game. I was behind.
COD couldn't touch Titanfall as far as how smooth it was when they were trying to do that same stuff, right? So like, what was it?
Right. And that's what all my friends, like, they were like, dude, you got to go get an Xbox One. Titanfall is where it's at. Basically, I think Titanfall killed Call of Duty at the time. Like, all the player base went to Titanfall. So I kind of fell off with my homies that were doing that. And what did I supplement? I had to supplement gaming for a while because of that. Like, I didn't have an Xbox One. Everybody's playing Titanfall. I think I went back to Modern.
Okay.
I went back to Black Ops 2. As soon as everyone fell off from Advanced, I think Black Ops 2 became the game again for everybody to go back to, until I got my Xbox One. So yeah, Black Ops 2 was my favorite iteration, but I had a special place in my heart for Modern Warfare 2 because I kind of felt like it started the same weapon class build-up that I really liked. So then we get into Xbox One. Oh man. And that's where it's hard because man, I played Xbox One a long time. There was a lot of games that I know life, but I want to say Battlefield 1 was probably like my most fond memory of playing any Xbox One game was Battlefield 1. It would have been Call of Duty up and until a point, but then as soon as Battlefield 1 came out, I was like, Call of Duty who? Call of Duty what?
Well, so like you had said, right? Like it started getting out of control, right? So like it was Advanced Warfare, and I was like, I don't really like this game that much. And then it was like Ghost, right? And then Ghost was like, the TTK was like too fast, and I was like, I had bought Battlefield 4 with my, like, when I bought the PS4, right? So when the PS4 came out, Battlefield 4 came out too, and Ghost, I bought both those games with it, and I was like, why am I not playing Battlefield if I'm playing bigger maps? And it's just like everything about Battlefield felt so much better. The running, the the gun mechanics, just everything. It was like and it looked better.
And it looked better.
So it was like
it looked so cool.
Outplay me gun to gun.
Yes. And that's where I think the term that we now we now coined boots on the ground. I think like that was like one of the first games, Battlefield 3 and then into 4 kind of brought that boots on the ground feel. I think a couple other people started with Hardline before 3. I started my Battlefield gaming started with 3, and the first time I picked up Battlefield 3 was the first time I started to question my ability gaming, because I was coming off of being a champion of Halo, being a champion of Call of Duty, and then I picked up Battlefield 3, and I'm late to the game. Yeah. I've never seen a map that size. I've never felt recoil on a gun, because Call of Duty, it's not recoil, right? Like, the mechanics of that game were so much more. Like, there's no other, it's just more. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm screwed. I have no idea. I basically realized I've been swimming in a kid pool the entire time, and I just jumped into the ocean. I've left my little pool and I've gone to the ocean. I had no idea. I was like, oh shit. So I actually put that away for a long time. I was like, nah, fuck that. That game sucks. That game sucks. Battlefield 3 sucks. And I was like, nah, actually, I suck. And then I came back for Battlefield 4, and I was like, what did I do to myself? Why did I give up Battlefield 3? Like, what did I miss? My stint on 3 was super short, and I still to this day like, oh man, I probably missed out on so much fun in 3. But from hearing back now, Battlefield 4 was like one of the more favored games. So I take it for what it is. I played 4 on console for a little while, and then I went back to Call of Duty for a minute and hated every second of it. Battlefield 1 dropped, and it was just like the clouds parted, sunshine.
It was
like Battlefield 1 just felt so good.
Bro, it was because it then just like you knew how big of a gap there was between Battlefield and Call of Duty. Like that game, Battlefield 1 made you realize how big of a gap there was as far as just everything. Graphics, smoothness, like the sound. Right.
Competition levels, even like, well, here's the thing, right? Like, Battlefield 1 was the first game that I ever realized Easter eggs were a thing. Right? And that was the kind of thing that I was missing from like a super highly competitive game. They were still bringing in elements of like childhood fun. Like I said, going back to Wolfenstein and my PC gaming starting days, and finding these secret rooms and just these dumb things that these PC developers would throw in just for fun. Here's DICE doing the same thing in Battlefield 1. Like, I don't know if you ever did any of the Easter eggs in Battlefield 1, but like they did the I forget the name of the maps. That was the problem. But there's one where like half the hillside is on fire, and if you shot some of these wine bottles that were found around these farms, and then you had to shoot these rooster weather vanes. If you shot all 3 of the rooster vanes, the up house would go flying over the mountains in the background.
I didn't know any of that.
And it's like, all the while you're running around like an idiot behind everyone's back. They're all like waging this 64 person first person shooter game war, trying to capture hills and shit, and you're over there like,
right.
Doof, doof. Hey, look, guys, there goes a house. What the hell you been doing? Nothing.
Side note,
like, bullshit.
I started my channel with Battlefield 1 and Star Wars Battlefront 1. I started my channel with those 2 games. Huh? Bro, because
find you. I found average on Battlefield 1 actually.
Already like I think at that time he had already like even by the start of Battlefield 1, I think he had already made his way up to like at least like 4K or something like that, right?
Oh, he was higher than that when I found him. He was like 20 or 30K ish, I think, when I found him. But I think I found him because like right when he started blowing up for that, and it was I know exactly the search I ran, and it's probably why I didn't find you, because I don't think you're a sniper
Yes.
class. You're a run and gun, right?
No. I did my fair share of everything, bro. Like, but I didn't realize the like the nuances of YouTube, right? Like, and like gaming, and like how to like capture your audience. You know, like after uploading a video, I was just like, oh, let me just throw out this gameplay. I went, 35-3 or so. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I didn't do like, oh,
right.
Use this sniper. You know what I'm saying? I use, and snipers were the big thing back then, right? So it was like,
yep.
If you had sniper gameplay, everybody was clicking on that shit. I was running around with a fucking SMG or an AR, just ripping shit up, and I'm like, nobody's seen my fucking videos, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're like, what am I doing? I'm going 60-0 and nobody cares. What the hell?
And at that point, at the same time, like, I didn't know who I was as a content creator. Like, I went through like 2 to 3 different names before I actually settled with Jewelz. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's just I was trying to be somebody else when I was doing Battlefield. Like, I was trying to.
You were doing it to do it, but not doing it for yourself.
Yes, and I was emulating what I heard and saw from other content creators instead of being myself. You know what I'm saying? So then once I started being myself, that's when things started to take off.
Right.
So, yeah. But my main thing was I was just saying I started my channel out on BF1. But
I mean, at the time, I wasn't even using YouTube for really what most people use YouTube for now. It was not YouTube to me back then was not for entertainment. It was education, right? I looked up how-to videos for everything I did. I've learned how to work on my own motorcycle, how to woodwork. Basically, I've taught myself a number of different things, all through YouTube. Just looking it up on YouTube. Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, if I needed to code something, for businesses, how do I code this in Excel or whatever? I use YouTube educationally. And so it dawned on me at one point in time, I picked up Battlefield 1, and I was like, I don't want to have a bad time like I did with Battlefield 3, because I could already tell I liked this game. And it was during the beta it was like second day that they did the beta, the open beta for Xbox. And I was like, the optimization is not here yet. There's some issues still, but holy shit, this game's going to be epic. And I want to know how to play this game. And so I remember when it came out, I didn't want to fall behind. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna grab a sniper. I'm gonna start doing this. And I was like, okay, there's definitely consistency to the gun mechanics, and I don't know it. I'm gonna go ask somebody how to do this. So I looked up how to snipe in Battlefield 1. And the only person that came up consistently was average sniper. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be an average sniper. I want to be the best fucking sniper. Where's the guy that really knows what he's doing? Not this average guy. Like, what the fuck is this shit? And so I was like, I don't even really know if I want to click on this. And then, hang on one sec. I got a toe cramp. And so I was like, you know what? Let me give this guy a try. And the first video I click on, it's literally this gun. He was just running the gambit of like, this gun does this damage at this distance if you headshot, if you body shot. And I'm like, yes. I don't want to know your tactics, because I'm probably better than you. I don't know you. I'm probably better than you tactic wise, but I just need to know what the gun's gonna do for me at what range. Yes, tell me what it does, and then I'm gonna go find you and I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah. That was my mentality. And I just remember as soon as I watched this video, I was like, cool. And then it was like 3 weeks later, the gun mechanics changed, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. So I searched him again. I was like, what the fuck? And it was like patch notes 2 point whatever, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, they do change this shit. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll have to subscribe to this guy just so I can keep up with what's going on with this game that I really want to play. And that was the first time I ever subbed to anybody for anything. I was like,
Yeah.
this guy's just putting out like patch notes. And that's what I was looking for. And then it was, I'd say within 6 months, I remember I'm in a lobby, I'm doing my bullshitting thing, I'm popping heads, and then I'm turning around and I'm doing an Easter egg, right? And I have open mic. I mean, like, I'm in a random lobby. I don't have a crew on this game at this point in time. And I'm just cracking up everybody I'm playing with. And I just remember, dude just chimes in. He's like, hey, man, you ever heard of streaming? No.
Right.
Like, even at this point,
videos.
average isn't streaming. It's just content creation. That's all they're doing is everyone's content creation. Twitch had just been, I think, released in the last year. So it was small. It was starting to gain traction. I mean, Twitch may have been out longer, but it was like becoming a household name within the last year. So, like, Ninja didn't exist yet, like, way before anything big happened. And they're like, yeah, we're thinking about streaming. Do you want to join us? And I'm like, no, but I'm bored. And I'm like, okay, I can't commit to hours. If I'm on and you're on, I'll play. Like, it was that kind of like, the fuck is streaming? Who the fuck are you? Right? Okay. And for me, it was just, I'm just gonna bullshit on Battlefield 1. And then I remember one of the guys that I ended up like streaming with for a little while was like, oh yeah, my homie Average. And I'm like, hey, I know that name. I watched a video from that guy. I'm like, you know that guy? And they're like, yeah, like we're homies. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it was like a week after that, he was doing gaming with subscribers, and it was like, because he had just started streaming like right around that same time, and I think that's why his friends started streaming. Like, it became this thing. And I'm like, okay. I'm watching his stream, and this is like right after I shattered my left arm, gone through rehab, and now I'm like, basically, it's not fixed the way it is now. So I'm actually at home from work for 6 months. I have nothing but time, and two hands to play video games with. And I met Average through his stream personally. That's when I met him. It was one of those like message something, and I'll choose through the messages who plays. He pulls me in, and we play a couple games together. And I think every time after that, I would go back and play because we played together. It just kept throwing me into his lobbies. And I remember I think it was like, I can't remember, I suck at map names. We were playing. There's one where it's like there's a courtyard at a castle and two different fields on either end. Yeah. So I got on the bombing plane, and I guess he and his crew were just hell bent on holding that fucking top wall. And I just kept doing the same bombing run over and over and over again, and they just kept lining up the same bombing run. I must have decimated him and his entire crew 4 times in a row. And then I just get a message. Average wants you to join in, and he's like, can you stop fucking killing us? Or I was like, dude, stop going there. And so I played with him a few times after that, and then like it was kind of hit or miss if we played together for a while. And that was kind of my introduction to like the streaming world, and like I'm not going to go into too much specifics, and like the friendships that can exist in it that aren't real, and then the ones that can develop from it that are genuine, right? Like me and you, right? Like, because I met you through him in a genuine way. And all of that comes from Battlefield 1, right? Like, it all comes from Battlefield 1. And so I remember the day he told me he was a Call of Duty player before anything else. I was like, how have we never played together? Like, I went through so many lobbies and all the Call of Duties you're talking about. Like, how did we never play together? And so I'm like going through, like, because I did the game recordings back on Xbox. I don't know, did you ever do that? Where you like recorded your game? I would go through all of my stuff, and I was like, did I ever kill him on like my highest kill games or whatever? Nothing. Nothing. I'm like, damn, I got so many games saved on my Xbox, like reels and shit, and I'm like, damn, nothing. I got highlight reels out the wazoo. Um, but I remember that kind of changed the way I looked at streaming, content creation, and I started watching YouTube differently then. And I started to look for content creators like you, right? Like something that was going to be entertaining, somebody that could also show me what to look for in a game, if I wanted to spend the $60 on that game, right? And it was new. And I remember I started streaming with those guys. That fell apart in a really bad way, and I almost wanted to like give it up and like stop doing that because it just wasn't like what you were talking about when you first started streaming. It wasn't you, right? It wasn't me. It wasn't what I wanted to do with gaming, and if I was going to share my gaming experience with anybody, that's not what I wanted to do. And then I want to say it was Warzone. No. Yeah, was that the Warzone or Modern Remastered came out?
Right.
One of the two. Call of Duty came back out in a different way, and I was like, I wanna show people what I can do with these games because this is the kind of game that I want to put out. Talks with I remember me, you, and Average actually had a game session. No one was recording anything. No one streaming anything. We had some really just down to earth, shooting the shit conversations, and that's when you guys both were like, yeah, like if tomorrow no one's chimed in, no one clicked on a video, I'd still do it. And I was like, okay. Basically, if you're gonna do it, just do it for yourself. Don't do it for the views. Build a community if you can. Do it for the reasons you want to do it for. And those were like the things that stuck out to me. And I was like, all right, if I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna get serious about my gaming again. And that's when I was like, all right, so I got to start looking into stuff. And that's when I started taking gaming seriously again and scheduling stuff a little bit more, or trying to hammer down that schedule. But I mean, like, you pepper in, now we're in our 20s, 30s, right? Like, I had my arm broken, rebroken, and then rebuilt again through all this time. PC gaming kind of became a thing, and so it's chaotic at that point, right? So I go from loving Battlefield 1, going back to Call of Duty, building a PC, doing Warzone, having to relearn how to play games on PC. And so now we're back on PC, and it's like, I don't think I could even go back to console.
It's tough. Yeah.
Have you even tried?
Like, PUBG on console, and like probably like
when?
a month ago. Like I played PS5, I played PUBG. I got a win, and
that hurt.
I streamed it. You know what I'm saying? And I was ripping shit. It was crazy. It was almost like I never set it down. It was kind of crazy. But
you took that PC kind of mentality and brought it to the console plebs, and you're like, I can't do it anymore though because 60 hertz. Yeah, it hurts my eyes.
It's different.
Oh my god, the refresh rate is just
different for sure.
It's bad.
Right.
Like I'm addicted now to the refresh rate. So where are we at now? We're back on PC. I honestly think once I got used to it, PUBG for PC. Like so far, like because it is, I did do Battlefield 4 on PC, and that was phenomenal. By the way, if you've never played Battlefield 4 on PC,
I did, but I did with controller.
It's phenomenal.
Okay.
I did too.
But I was still ripping shit with controller. So imagine if we went back now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, it was
different.
Oh, well, and that's the thing, right? Like we did Battlefield 2042, and I had to bring my controller back because of it's the same thing with the flight controls. Well, it's really bad actually on 2042. 2042, you cannot fly, or at least I cannot fly on keyboard and mouse. Like it is horrible to control a helicopter on keyboard and mouse. You give me a controller, it's so easy, it's cake. I'm actually pretty decent at flying a helicopter with a controller in my hands. But 2042 is it's not on the same level as 1 or Battlefield 4 ever was for me.
But
I'd rather go
okay,
back and play
but
Battlefield 4 over 2042.
I say that too, but
Go ahead.
I feel like I'm only saying it now because all I want to play is Battle Royales. Had Battle Royale genre not come out, I might be like, yo, Battlefield 2042 might be the best game I've ever played. You know what I'm saying? But since we've been introduced to BRs, all I want is a BR. So I can go in and play a multiplayer, but deep down I'm like, this is okay.
You want that almost 1v1
right.
v 100 feeling. Yeah. Well, here's the problem, right? Like you had Battlefield 5 Firestorm or the garbage game, right? Like the multiplayer felt just like 2042. It felt like a reskinned Battlefield 1 with horrible mechanics. Then they released Firestorm. We're like, yes, finally we can ditch the multiplayer. No one fucking cares about that shit anyway. Let's go and destroy PUBG forever with Firestorm, right? And what happened? That was the most garbage battle royale. It could have been, and they could have fixed it. All the major streamers, all the other major development, everyone was screaming, fix the loot system. Above all else, fix the loot system. When someone goes down and dies, fix the loot system. And the game's done, right? Like, sure, we can have issues with like nitty-gritty stuff after that.
It was good.
The map design I felt was actually pretty good. Right? But good luck picking anything up off the ground.
People, because you're gonna get sniped from somebody while you're sitting there trying to pick up a certain ammo or a certain gun, or health,
or health, because you had to have health and you couldn't get it out of the fucking myriad of shit on the ground, right? So like they broke their own game, and then after even 6 months, like the surprising thing is that game lasted 6 months before you started to really see a drop off, like a sudden drop off of players, and they still didn't fix it.
They quit updating it, and that's why it like completely fell off. All right,
hang on, one sec. Are you on the bathroom? Are you good? Are you done? Hang on, one sec. So I was saying 2042, I just don't see, unless they were to go and do what they never did with Battlefield 5 Firestorm, I just don't see 2042 coming out with a good Battle Royale. They had the time, they had the knowledge, they had the team at the time to fix what was broken about that Battle Royale and show us that they could make an ultimate Battle Royale, and they didn't do it. So why would they do it now? Especially with the state of affairs that company's in.
Look,
like that's why I'm like, God, if DICE was in better shape as a company, sure.
If they came out with a BR, 100 players to 150, you can clearly get 130 people on that map. Just fine on any map, so you could literally plug in.
I'd be happy if they did even a 64 player.
I'm just saying, like, obviously these maps are big enough to where you can run around and not see anybody for a while, right? And it's got 128 players on there. With the abilities of the operators or whatever, and the gunplay of Battlefield, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could honestly make a battle royale that would fucking rival Warzone. It could easily rival Warzone, Apex, all of them.
Oh, easily.
I just, the thing that's
not setting the bar too high, though.
Nobody in the Battlefield community wants to BR. Nobody wants to BR from the Battlefield community. Any of the OG Battlefield players, they don't want to BR. and that is making them
Yeah.
not want to make a BR. But it's like, as a company, you want to evolve, right? So clearly you're never going to make those old
Yep.
people happy, right? Because they're just going to keep on playing Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4.
Nope.
Right? So you might want to try to get right. You might want to
With their private servers.
try to build your brand and get more people from other games, people that play Call of Duty that aren't happy with the anti-cheat, or people from Apex that don't want it as futuristic. You know what I'm saying? Like, and get them over. I just don't get it.
Well, I think a lot of game designers, they fear diversity, right? Like, think about anytime you do any kind of like new map rotation option, or third person versus first person split off, right? And anytime you divide your community more than just one time, they fear that, right? So when you're talking about exactly what you're talking about, right, where you have a fan base that's almost purely multiplayer, and they don't want that battle royale, which is odd to me, because it's like, battle royale is multiplayer still, guys. Like, whatever. They don't want to separate the community when they have a small player base, but it's like, you gotta cater to a bigger audience to have a bigger player base, and then splitting the community is not a problem anymore.
Right.
If you have the biggest community out there, split it as many times as you want.
And
you're still not going to have a problem.
You're have your battle royale lobbies filling up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in fact, if you do it the way Warzone did it, I think that's the smartest thing that they did, is that the weapons that you leveled up in the multiplayer carried into Warzone.
Yeah.
It made you want to, right? Like, because some battle royale players hate multiplayer. They don't want to do that. They don't want to, like, they're the search and destroy players of yesteryear are now the battle royale kings, right? Like, that's what they are used to, that 1v1 sweaty, you die once, it's over mentality. They didn't like multiplayer. They don't want to play multiplayer. But now all of a sudden you've incentivized multiplayer. Okay, there you go. Now you have full lobbies in your battle royale and your multiplayer. Battlefield just seemed to be like, it's almost like Intel versus AMD, right? And Warzone or Call of Duty is Intel and Battlefield is AMD, where every so often Battlefield shows up and just decimates
but won't
Intel / Warzone or Call of Duty
for good. Yeah. Right.
And they just won't get out of their own way. They just won't get out of their own way. Like, all of a sudden they're like, see, we beat them, and we did it on our terms. It's like, every 10 years, you're happy with every 10 years? How about consistently? Just one off, blow them out of the water, and then keep their head underwater. It's getting a little dark on there, but it's exactly what you said. They have the potential. The potential. It's going to be a while now. From what I understand with how bad that company is, it's going to be a minute before they get the right people in there again.
They brought over some people from the Battle Royale side from Activision, and there is a Battle Royale in the works. I'm no insider or anything like that. I just watch a lot of the YouTube videos. I watch a lot of content.
So Activision and Blizzard fell apart because of their issues. Like, Blizzard was sexual harassment, and Activision, I think it was the same thing. So to hear that DICE picked up the scraps from them,
I ain't hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Just
not good.
Bring me a BR. I ain't got nothing to do with
I'm telling you right now, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like that, and that's the sad part, and that's why like we're looking at games like this Mini Royale right now, right? Like these next and super people, right? Like these new developers coming up. I'm excited for them because right now is the time to do it, right? Right, your three heavy hitters, Blizzard, Activision, and DICE, are down for the count right now. As a company, they're down for the count right now. They're not, and they are not showing signs of really stepping back up to the plate. Activision if I remember right, there is skeleton crew right now in all games, and by skeleton crew, it's like bare bones, barely keeping the servers up, right? Dice is a little better off, sure. Blizzard is screwed. Blizzard is screwed. And I think they're all praying for like a Microsoft takeover and something else. But anyway, behind the business, these other companies are now's the time for them to come up with these new games from like the independent realm, right? Like Mini Royale, Super People, these new developers. It's kind of like when Bluehole came out with Ring of Elysium. The only thing I think that really screwed Ring of Elysium is it's kind of like a summer blockbuster of movies got released around it. And they just got buried in all these bigger company game releases. But I think now's the time as a gaming community. That's really exciting because all these big companies are down for the count. And they're not going to come up with anything big anytime soon. So we can look to these smaller companies who care. Honestly, who care about what their community has to say about the game and what they want to see from the next game. And we're seeing it with Mini Royale's devs in their Discord. We're seeing it with Super People, with how that they're interacting with all of their feedback. They finally got their Discord going pretty well, I think. You've never felt as connected with a company in the development of a game unless you were a game tester, which they've gone away from. So I think now and especially with cross-platform coming out, I don't know if you saw the news, Xbox and Discord have teamed up.
Well, that's good because
as of today,
it was on PS5.
But now you'll have Discord on Xbox. So all these cross-platform games, we were always talking like, how do these people not have Discord? How do game chat's broken? Like, what the hell? You're now linking that distance from PlayStation to Xbox to PC gaming and all this other stuff. And all these games are like, once they link Steam to Xbox, game over, bro. Like, the gaming world is going to be it's going to be what you want it to be. If you want it to be casual, get a console, get a TV, see you in Discord. If you want it to be casual, sweaty, grab your PC. See you in Discord.
All right,
phenomenal time.
Go ahead.
And then here you are, leading the charge. You were talking like you didn't know what you wanted to do, and you're leading the charge right now with Mini Roy and Super People. Like, I don't know of these games if it's not for you.
Those to me are going to be the two biggest games out coming up. This year. Early before 2023. If they drop before then, I'm not sure if they will, but those.
But here's the thing: even if they're not the biggest thing at the time,
I hope so, man.
You're leading the way. You could be the guy that someone like me goes, "How do I do this?" and goes to that video and goes, "Fucking Jewelz taught me." Mini Royale, Super People.
I mean, that's why I'm writing it out with these games. And the thing is I actually fucking enjoy them. Like, I am having a blast with them. And of course, you're gonna see me rage and say I hate this fucking game, but I say that with every goddamn game that I love to play.
If you're not passionate about it, then don't play the game. Like, what are you even doing? Like, what do you want to sit there and be like solitaire?
Right. Like
click.
If I'm watching somebody, if they're not raging, I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you so calm? Right.
Like, are you even having fun? Yeah, like, are you even having fun, sir?
You know what I'm saying?
Are you even trying?
Back to the lobby, let's start it up again. I'm like, no, bro. Like, are you too cool for school that you can't fucking rage? Like, you got to be level-headed? Oh, my God. For real. All right.
You can't feel anything?
Let's go on to the next question, bro. Because we've been on that one for like an hour and a half.
All right.
Where did you get your YouTube name? And like, when did you know like that's the name? Like I said, I had switched mine a few times. Like, Where did yours come from, and when did you know like this is what I'm sticking with?
Easy, easy. Like I said, right when my party life, gaming life mixed. So my actual name is Eric. And everyone knows at least 4 Erics. Like, hands down, minimum, you know 4 of us. And so, I mean, I was very well known in the local party scene, but you know, every time, like, someone else would want to bring me to a new party or whatever, they would have to introduce, like, oh, hey, do you mind if I bring my homie Eric? And they're like, oh, which one is that? Like, oh, it was, you know, he did this at this one party. He was over at this party. He did this. He knows this person. And it was just constantly trying to explain which one of the 10 out there was trying to come over. Because I'm cool, but not every Eric that we know is cool. And there is some Erics even I was like, bro, you're making me look like shit. Stop it. Stop it. You're doing our name an injustice. Stop it. You're being a dick, not an Eric. Okay? Like, damn it. So I remember I'm hanging out with my homie, and he's going through the gambit of Erics. With an Eric, by the way. The irony is, it's another Eric that he's trying to explain who I am. And so one of the other things you'll notice is, like, I don't really ever look straight. Like, here, I'll try. Like, I don't look straight at anything. I always kind of turn to the side, and it's kind of like something I've done for a long time because my right eye is blind. And so it wanders or whatever. It's lazy, however you want to describe it. But a lot of people who eventually know me know I'm blind in my right eye. And so my buddy goes, old one eye. And he's like, oh, yeah, the dude with the lazy eye. He's like, yeah, old Uno. And I was like, and at first I was about to smack him for calling me one eye. I was like, what the fuck? That's my moniker right now is old one eye. And then he goes, Uno. And I'm like, that's better. That's fine. I like that, actually. That's cool. Uno. Okay, so I'm Uno. And so that weekend, we line up to do our normal gaming sesh. I'm fucking clever as shit. Uno. And I look up on the screen, and like everyone that I'm playing with is like Stuck 707, Jewelie 707, How Easy 707. Like everyone's 707. Like we're all in the 707 area code. The Federation is becoming a big name out here. Mac Dre just signed. E40 was starting to follow suit. Like all the Bay Area rappers are starting to make a name for the 707, and so we're all repping it like it's going out of style. People are getting fucking tattoos of 707, and I'm like, 707. Like, Uno 707. That's me. Fucking just... And I only added the 707 just because I wanted to, like, kind of flip off everybody else that had a 707 in their name. Like, we're all in the same living room. I don't need your zip code, like, or your area code. I know where you are. What are you doing? Like, this is, again, right before online gameplay. We're not online. We're all in a LAN party. So for me... The adding of 707 was ironic at best because it's unnecessary. But it ended up becoming like that's me because as soon as it goes online, it's me like really owning how cocky I am in gaming because it's like come see me. Come see me. I'm in the 707. Come see me. You want to 1v1 me? We can do this. We'll even screen share. Come see me. I'm in the 707. And so a lot of people are like, oh, where you at? Where you at? And I would literally chime in this. I was like, you got me. I'm right here in the 707. Lo and behold, by the way, the 707 area code in California is the largest area code out there. Apparently it goes all the way up to Ukiah in like Redding. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. You could be 3 hours away from the Bay Area. And not, but you're still 707, so didn't know that at the time. But yeah, basically, what it really means to me is it's not just a nickname. It actually got me through what plagued me from childhood. I used to be bullied. I used to have a horrible temper. Because I got bullied so much. I had to learn to fight my own fights, and I had to fight off at sometimes like 5 to 6 kids in elementary school because I was getting bullied and mob mentality, right? You see the one kid getting picked on, everyone starts chiming in, and you either grew thick skin or you were destroyed because bullying back in the 80s and 90s was not a thing, right? Like it is today, it wasn't handled. Schools, they always attacked the kid getting bullied because you were the problem to the school. You were the one that they had to resolve, right? If the group has a problem with you, you're the problem, right? And so having a physical handicap that weighed down on me mentally for a long time. And as an adult, I struggled to even kind of really grasp what drove people to have an issue with that. And the moment my friend snapped Uno out of his mouth, it was like 20 years. I think I was 21 when that name first came to fruition. It was 20 or 21. It was 20 years of just bullying and aggression and fighting, and conflict resolution was just like swept under the rug. It was just like immediately removed, and it was like, yeah, man, I'm fucking Uno. I have one eye, and I'm fucking Uno. Hell yes. And ever since then, like anybody would ever say anything, it's laughable to me now. Like I don't get affected when someone, like a lot of times if I do get caught like being business professional and looking someone straight in the eyes, and they'll just, what are you looking at, bro? I'm like, shit, sorry, I'm looking at you. Hang on, here you go. I'm looking at you. All right. And it's like, I get it, like, because I've also met other people that have a lazy wandering eye or whatever, and it's like, that's what it looks like. Shit, that is distracting. That is hard. It's hard to tell where you're looking sometimes. So I've kind of trained myself to do my best to look off, like angle myself to the side so my eye kind of tracks better. It's still off, but at the same time, it's not the same mental handicap anymore, and it's something I've embraced, and leads to what I want to bring from my kids. It's what I want to bring from. Like any kind of content creation I do, it's how I approach my chat, right? When I do stream, I have zero patience for anybody who wants to bully anybody for the sake of bullying. I have zero patience for those who don't have an understanding for mental, physical, or otherwise handicaps, whether they be visible or non-visible, right? I'm very understanding of that. And some are hard, right? Like the non-visible handicaps are really hard for people to really wrap their mind around and be accepting of. But it's what I want to advocate for. And for me, it's all encompassed in that name, UNO707. Like, that's what that name is to me. It's a big deal now. It was just a joke, and it's enveloped so much more because of what it did for me. Yeah, let me get a light real quick. There we go. Okay.
All right, so I know that I actually didn't know when you switched over to PC. You know what I'm saying? Because we played just Xbox like a lot, and I knew like I made the switch, but like I didn't put it in my head that a lot of people were going to be making a switch over to PC gaming. So when did you know, it's time to switch over to PC gaming? Okay.
Warzone. Easy Warzone. It was, I tried during PUBG. No. I want to say Warzone was already out, actually. I built my first PC 3 years, if not 4 years ago. And I want to say I built it for Warzone because I have, it has to be because I have Warzone on my console. And
yeah,
did it?
It was March 2020.
So maybe it was 2 years ago then. I know I haven't had that PC too long.
Okay.
Yeah. You could almost go back and look at like the streams. You'll know exactly when I built a PC. Because at one point, I'm in this side of my room where I have like shelving and all that. It was a TV. It was a couch. I mean, it was like your lazy boy stream, and I put a webcam on top of my TV. I had my laptop at my feet. It looked like Bob's stream, right? Like, it was bad. It was so grainy. It was horrible. I had no right to even be trying to do what I was doing. I didn't have the right software. I didn't have the right hardware. And then I was like, I'm going to go full tilt, full send. And I did it, I believe, during Warzone. And just like you, and this is why, when you started talking the same, conversations I had mentally with myself, I remember I tried Warzone with the PC, and I was like, I suck. I can't, my movement is just unnatural. I couldn't stop pressing W. I couldn't, get my finger off the forward button. I'd be, trying to hide, and I'd be, running forward. I'm stop! Right. What the hell? Because with the controller, you just take your thumbs up, right? And you stop moving, right? And everything else is down. Because I had an Elite controller, so I'd be using the paddles for a lot of stuff. And if I needed to move, use thumbs. Somehow that didn't translate on the keyboard, and I struggled for I want to say 6 months solid to make the transition. And I just had to cold turkey controller. I put the controller down. I put it away in a cupboard, and I refused to give in to lazy gaming, I guess, and pick it back up. I was like, I gotta learn, because the mouse was super intuitive. I couldn't deny it. My aim by that 6 month mark was destroyed on the controller. I couldn't aim for shit. But my movement was phenomenal still, right? But it's it doesn't matter how good you move, you can't hit a target anymore. So my aim is now purely dependent on the mouse. And I'd gotten recoil control, I'd gotten snapping and all that. I got my DPI locked in on the mouse. And so I was like, okay, I just got to get over this mental hurdle of WASD, 1, 2, 3, 4, spacebar control, all that. Everything has a button, right? And basically, my hand went from this to this. And this was the hardest thing, because I felt like I don't know if you ever played guitar, but the same thing happened when I tried to learn guitar. You're supposed to be very lucid with your fingers, and I was always very tight trying to get to the next chord, right? So I kind of gave up on guitar because my fingers just never loosened up. So in this one, it's very much the same. I wanted to play very tight, and so I couldn't let go of a button, and then I was like, okay, one finger at a time, just WASD, spacebar, control, 4, and I started getting looser, I guess, with my hand. Once I got that down, that's when I knew I'm sticking through PC. I get 100 plus FPS. The graphics on it are amazing. I started paying attention more to what businesses were doing as far as future gaming content, and I realized where consoles are going to go anyway, PCs are going to be more lenient financially.
Upgrading and
right.
Eventually the consoles are going to turn into PCs.
Yeah,
right. So
and that's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what I saw when Xbox One started talking about the new iteration that they were coming out, the Series X,
right?
And it basically was an AMD PC build in a small box. That's when I was like, well, then what are we even doing here? They're talking 120 frames, maybe. Still got a controller. Right. I still have to buy the entire console every time. And I'm limited to their game content only. And then they started talking almost every game after that was going to be cross-platform, which meant it was going to be for PC, right? So I'm like, why would I not buy a PC and get on Steam, Epic, and Origin, and have everything at my whim? It just made more sense. And it was all due to Warzone. And then I went and tried PUBG on PC, and I was sold. As soon as I turned on PUBG for the first time, I thought it looked great on console. I honestly did. As soon as I turned it on my PC and I turned up the settings, I was like, this is another game. I've never played this game. This game is everything.
It is night and day difference. And switching over to it, lately with the new map and everything, it's felt like it's rejuvenated a little bit. You know, I it's so fun. It's so fun.
That new map is beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, like a lot of people probably thought I was saying something negative about it when I said it was almost like a reskinned Black Ops 4 Blackout. But honestly, I loved Blackout. I loved that map. It was a dynamic map. But what Blackout lacked as far as verticality, like basically if you weren't at the dam, it was 3 floors. Right? Every building had 3 floors. Inner and outer was 3rd floor up. This map, so Destin, is super dynamic. So dynamic. Verticality out the yin yang. It feels like Battlefield.
Right.
It feels like Blackout, and it feels like PUBG.
So,
I
don't know anybody that watches as many movies as you and I. Me and you watch a lot of movies. And the funny thing is I don't know when the fuck you watch these movies, man. Like, I honestly, like, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, when? I was just playing games with you all fucking week. When did you see that movie?
No, you're not wrong. Like, we went on vacation, right? We came back, we unpacked, and my wife's like, Thor Love and Thunder starts in 15 minutes. You want to go? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We log in and I pray you have the same kind of options with your theaters where you get to select your chair. Game change. I love that so much, man. We grew up in the days. Yes. Do you remember going to the movie theater an hour before any good movie just to get a goddamn chair? Like, I loathed that. I hated that, right? Now we show up when the movie starts, maybe 5 minutes after, and you miss like some bullshit previews or whatever. Sit down in a luxury recliner that reclines back. It's so epic. So like legit, we literally went and saw Thor Love and Thunder the day we got back in town over the weekend from a vacation. Like, we literally just find these moments where we just have time and we'll go see our family movies. We'll take the kids and we'll do that. Me and the wife, I think it helps though to have a significant other or a partner in life that also is into movies, right? Like, it sounds like you and MK really like movies. It's not you like movies and she's like, okay.
Right.
Because then you make that time in your life to do that kind of stuff.
You can have your date nights, right? And like, and it becomes like a tradition thing. Like, okay, we're gonna go like 3 times a month or something like that, and you don't ever feel like you've been stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's those like relationships out there that they're like, we don't do this and we don't do that.
Right.
And it's just like, you have something that you both enjoy doing, and then you get to go out and do it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, right.
You share that time together. Yeah, you share that experience, right? And some people, like, they need that intimate, like, interaction kind of like activity, and some people just need to be in the same room doing the same thing or taking in the same experience to feel connected, right? And I feel like a movie is that, right? Like, you're not interacting with each other, but at the same time, you kind of are. You're feeding off like,
or
oh
you're
shit,
laughing
that was
at something.
dope. Oh
They
my
didn't even
god,
think
did
it was
you
that
see
funny, but
that?
they're gonna
Like,
laugh because you're laughing. You know what I'm saying?
And they're
that you're, yeah.
They find it funny that you are cracking up at that,
Right?
Yeah,
right,
or you're over there going,
like, you
didn't
catch
get it, did you?
did
Damn! Right? And so, like, and then, like, you have something to talk about afterwards, right? So that's movies to me and my wife. Actually, that started. We met when I moved to the town we're in now. I got a job just to get a job at the time at the local movie theater.
That's what my dad told me.
I learned a long time ago, never be too proud for a buck.
Out there,
like,
and somebody's got to do it.
You
know what I'm saying? That's what he said.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. You got to work your way up. You got to start from somewhere, right? And at the time, like, you're talking like when the economy was shit, I moved out here. And so I had to pick up a job. I picked up the movie theater job just to get ends meet. And I just so happened to run into my wife. My wife was literally my first love, my first major anything when she was 13, I was 15.
Right.
It like lasted 3 months, if that. Like it was super, super short lived. But like for me, that was a lifetime. I was like head over heels for the chick. And I'll never forget like when she broke up with me. She's like, if it's meant to be, we'll meet again. And so she walks into the movie theater, and this is me. Like even though I work at a movie theater, I'm also
Right.
club promoting like in the city on the weekends. But I need something like day job wise. I'm cocky as fuck, right? I'm like, I can talk to anybody. She walked in the movie theater, and you would swear all like I am the most unconfident guy ever. I choked up. I actually didn't say a fucking word. My homie was standing next to me. He's like, "Are you okay?" Like I was supposed to be taking her ticket, and he ended up having to take her ticket because I was just stuck. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's her. I haven't seen her since like what the best. Actually, let me backtrack. I graduate high school. Her cousin is in my senior class, so she's at my graduation. I don't know that. I am at the time with a girl for 9 months in high school. Like basically, I'm like, I'm gonna marry this chick, right? Like hell yeah, this girl's hot as hell. Hell yeah. My now wife walks up out of fucking nowhere. I'm at a baseball field. That's where we got our graduation ceremony was at a local baseball field. I'm walking out of literally left field. She walks up and goes, "Hey Eric," and I just heard the voice, and it was like, no, no way. And I turn, and she's gorgeous as ever, like same as I remember her, right? Just older, right? And I'm just like, oh shit. Hey, Liz. Um, this is
Oh my god.
I literally forgot my girlfriend's name at the time. No shit, there was no recovering. I didn't remember it at all. My girlfriend's hi, I'm Ashley. And I'm like, shit, yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry this one. Okay. So, oh dude, mortified as hell. Basically, that ended that relationship. I mean, it lasted a little longer after that, but fairly sure that led to the demise. So clearly, I never got over this chick, and then so same thing happens, man. Like I'm in my 20s. I'm like 21, I think. I'm at this movie theater. I'm cocky as shit. I'm living on my own. She walks in. I can't even say hi. Her mom comes up with her. They get their movie theater tickets. They walk away, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is it. This is that moment she said when we were 13. You either make this, like, if it's meant to be, we'll meet again. And I'm literally, I was like, all right, I know what movie she's in. I know what theater she's in. I know where she's going to come out. I got 2 hours basically to get the fucking balls back in my system to go and talk to this chick and get a number. Long story short, clearly, got the number, invited her out to coffee. Yeah, I got her to coffee.
All right. So
And
here's my question then.
we got,
Right. So
but movies led the way, and it was actually a big
do
deal.
you remember the first movie y'all saw together?
When all right, well, hang on.
I mean, you can give me
13 and
both.
15 or adult review acquaintance? Okay, 13 and 15. It was Nature Walks or something. Sandra Bullock. I forget the name of the movie. I know the movie.
The Net?
Let me Google that real quick.
I don't know.
No,
I'm just
fuck,
saying, you know,
bro.
at that age, you know, we probably, you know.
Nature.
I
Walk.
I
I want to
love
say.
Sandra Bullock, and I've never seen
I want to
that.
say Nature Walk or When Nature Walks or some shit like that. Let me IMD. Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
I know it was her because I had a fat crush on her, especially from that movie. Hang on, let's see. Let's see what movie she was in back in.
Back in
We're not gonna date ourselves any more than we already have. Filmography seal. I want to say it was also the one she did with Ben
Shit,
Affleck that
I
ended
don't
up
even
driving
know.
them together.
All right. Well, give me the 20s when you were in your 20s.
First movie. This one's a little more difficult because I worked at the theater. I could go see any movie I wanted for free and bring somebody with me, and we saw movies almost
You
nightly.
gotta remember the first movie y'all saw together.
Uh,
You have to.
I'm gonna be honest. We didn't watch the movie that we saw the first.
Oh, that young love, boy! I'm telling you.
Um, like, because technically the first movie we watched, we went back to her place to watch a movie. No fucking clue what she turned on. I'm still riding the high of like I'm in the same house now with the girl that like I've been in love with since 13, or since she was 13, right? I've been 15. I'm in the same house, so I'm riding that high, and I'm like, how is this not going to end, right? And so I'm like, dude, I'm not even watching the movie. There's a movie on for sure, and it was a good movie. I don't know what it is.
Oh, you get
I'm rubbing her feet.
Okay.
I'm putting the moves on. We're turning the lights down. Like we Netflixed and chilled the first that night. Like I don't know what Netflix had on though, but I want to say the first theater movie we saw together was probably Transformers when we got back together. You know, and like that's kind of when I realized, oh shit, she's down. She's down. She liked it all. She wanted to go see everything. She is a horror film whore, though. I can't not watch a horror film because if a horror film comes out, we have to go see it. And I don't.
Yeah.
Me and horror films don't go well together.
Okay.
Forces of Nature. Found it.
Right. I see it. I see it.
Look, where is it? Yeah, 1999. Who was her co-star? Yep, Ben Affleck. I fucking nailed it, bro. My childhood right there. Yep. We
Oh shit.
we were them. And look,
So
now
that-
they're
that's
even they're
real
back
life
together.
dog right there.
That's us, bro. That's us. Forces of Nature, man. That movie kind of captures. Man, we gotta fucking watch that. Oh shit! I know what movie it was. Now that you say that, I actually know what movie our first movie was, and it's kind of
shit.
like our movie too.
Okay.
It was The Notebook.
And you guys were the real life Notebook.
That's our movie because. Yes. I just pray to God that none of us get Alzheimer's. That is my fucking one fear in life. Like, if I have a deep, dark fear, is Alzheimer's. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm also arachnophobic as fuck, but like,
All right.
nothing scares me more in
Can't
life
do anything
than
about
Alzheimer's. Living a fucking phenomenal life, having all these great adventures,
Right.
and yes, like it never happened. That is the worst thing I think to anybody. And so when I watch The Notebook, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I don't cry for shit like
Bruh.
ever.
All right.
I can't watch that
I'm
movie
a
and not
manly
fucking
man.
shed
You
a
know what
tear.
I'm saying? Like, I'm a manly man. You know what I'm saying?
feel
I don't even know. I don't even know if I've seen The Notebook or anything. You know?
You know what I'm saying?
No, man, real shit though. The Notebook is one of the best movies I've ever seen, bro. Like for real, it's so good.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That one, we watched that one more times. I mean, the reason why I forget that was like our thing for a minute. Like, it's so in our daily life. Like, she'll say something like, "Hey, do you want to do this?"
Okay.
And my response to her is usually, "If you're a bird, I'm a bird." You know, and it's like I realize like, oh fuck, we picked that shit up. The common joke though is anytime I ask her, "What do you want to eat?"
What do you?
It's not that easy. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? She's just shaking her head.
It's so fucked up that I know like every fucking
That
word from
scene
those
is
movies.
just-
like I had my high school girlfriend at the time when I saw that
Yep.
movie, and so like I had to watch it. I didn't want to watch it back then, but I had to watch it, and then I watched it. I was like, yo, this shit is nice. Like, this is actually a really dope movie. You know what I'm saying? But the first movie that me and MK saw together was
that one hits the feels.
Avengers: Age of Ultron. So it for her to even just, bro, 7 years.
Are you guys like a new couple? Like, that's not that old. Oh fuck.
2015.
Wait a minute. How long have you and MK been together? I actually don't know that answer. Okay, so that was the thing. That's what set you guys together, huh?
Right.
See, I like
Exactly.
MK. I like MK.
First date.
If she's gonna go see Age of Ultron,
been texting.
I like
we
it.
met through my brother because they both worked at the same place. But we were just like texting or whatever, and like I got her number. Like I told my brother, like my brother's like, oh, there's this girl at work. You know, I should try to hook you up. And I was like, well, show me a picture of her. And he showed me a picture, and I was like, and I said,
yes,
hook that up.
Yes.
And I was like dead ass serious. Like there was no more joking around. Like hook that up.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Well, I'll talk to her at work. I said, Jared, hook me up. Like give her my number, or get her number and give it to me. Like I'm not playing around.
Yeah.
Like this is the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen in my entire life. Hook me up. And then I think he gave her, I think he might have given her my number, or he ended up giving me hers, or we add each other on Facebook, something like that. I don't even remember exactly, but then like we texted for like a couple days, and then it was like Age of Ultron is out. Should we go see it? And we went to go see it, and it was just like she had seen all the other ones, right? So like I didn't have to catch her up on anything. So I was like, oh, this girl already, she's already down with the, the Marvel. And I'm like,
so she's just down with it.
Shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. So I was like, so that's how we met.
When did you guys see your first Star Wars movie?
It was negative.
And had she seen the others before that?
Yes. But
so you brought her into the Star Wars realm.
Loved it. Was kind of crazy. It was The Force Awakens is what got us, right?
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
So I think the movie dropped like December 15th or some shit like that. And we went to go see it. But I had been playing the game, Star Wars Battlefront 1. And I was like, yo, this shit is so dope. And she's in the same room as me, right? She would just be kicking it in the room, watching TV while I'm playing. And then, I was like, we got to go see this movie. She was like, all right, let's go. Went to go see it. She was like, that was really good. I was like, that shit was so dope. So then, like, everyone after that, like, we've just been going to see. So, like... No. My first Star Wars movie.
Wait, that was your first Star Wars movie too? Oh, I was about to say.
Right.
Okay.
And then
I know you're legit because you know it's called A New Hope.
One came out and it came together.
Not episode fucking 4.
Right. So yeah.
Oh shit.
Exactly.
Vader walking down the fucking hallway right to that door. I'm like, oh shit.
I don't even want to get too into that because I can talk about that shit forever. So anyway,
all day.
What? Since we're still on the movie subject, there's been games that have been made into movies and movies that have been made into games. Like, what's the best one that you've seen that is related to gaming in the movies?
Ironically, it's movies that I actually never played the games to. I watched homies play because I lost the passion for RPGs, but Resident Evil, loved the Resident Evil movies. Like every time a Resident Evil movie, even the new ones, I feel like the new ones now are almost like every Tremors that came after Tremors 2.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch it, but you're already vested. you gotta like if you've seen the Ass Blaster Tremor, you gotta keep going with it. So,
Okay.
we actually just realized we didn't see Welcome to Raccoon City, and so like that's the next thing on our queue right now to watch when the kids go to sleep.
Is that the new Netflix one?
So there's that. But I really liked.
Because there's a new Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix. I was browsing something
Resident Evil, and it
the other
is
day.
fucking good. It is good. Yeah, it's a series.
Oh, maybe it is. Is it a series? I thought it was a movie. No, I think it was the movie.
I think they came out with the movie a couple years ago, and now they came out with like a TV show.
That's whatever.
Like a series, and it's really good.
Oh, okay. Let's see this one. No, so Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. That's the movie. It's an hour and 45. So I'll have to look into the TV series one. But we're behind on that one movie. I've seen all the other Resident Evil ones. Right. Some not so fun to say I've watched, but I felt like it was really good. But the one I thought was done the best so far to the game itself,
I hate
Silent Hill.
It was good.
That movie was so well done, but like I love anything that's like comes from another genre and does fanfare, right? And the fact that like I'm watching it with my friend that I would watch him play. Like I watch your gameplay right now with the Quarry. I would watch him play this game. I'd watch him play Resident Evil, or not Resident Evil, but Silent Hill, and it was like watching a horror film play out, right? And I remember we talked about it at the time. Like, this is a fucking horror film that you're just interacting with. Like, almost like one of those books that you would read. Like, jump to this page if you go left, right? And I remember he's, like, entering Silent Hill. Yep. And he's going down this alleyway.
Dumpster.
And there's a chain link fence on his left, and there's buildings on his right. And he goes around the corner. Yes! He hits the fucking trash can. And he goes, hang on a minute. I want to not come around and make noise. So he tried it again. He was like, I'm going to try and sneak around so nothing hears me. And every time, because of the way the camera angle shifts, your character always hits that trash can. So when the movie's playing, we're watching, he goes, she's going to go around the corner and hit a trash can. She goes around the corner and hits the trash can. We fucking go nuts in the theater. And everyone's looking at us like, what the fuck? Nothing. What are you talking? Like, what just happened? She hit a trash can. Who cares? Like, what the fuck? And then we're like, okay, she's going to go around this. There's going to be like two different chain link fences this way, and there's going to be a guy pinned to it. And there's a fucking dude there. And we're like, oh, shit. They did that movie so good to what that game was. It set the bar for like video game to movie release. I only
watched it a couple times because it just creeped me the fuck out, bro. Because I remember being at like I had this this girl that was lived up the street from me, and she had like all the fucking games, right? So I would go up to her house and we'd be playing video games, and I played fucking Silent Hill, and I literally like threw the controller down. Like, I'm not fucking playing this game. Like, I'm not finishing this game. I'm sorry. Like, but she didn't want to play it, so I had to play it. But it was just like, and then I watched the movie. I'm like, this is so fucking good. It's so good, bro. It's so good.
Having flashbacks. Yeah. What about you then? What is your favorite? I guess video game to movie release.
I think I had a different answer before, but I have to say Ninja Turtles, man. The original the first Ninja Turtles, 1989, bro.
The original?
That shit was like the.
I never made the connection that it was a video game to a movie. I always did, because I read the Ninja Turtle comics.
That's one of my all-time.
Then I saw the movie.
You know, like it just is, and it's just like I have to say it's the Ninja Turtles, bro. I have to. Yep.
That's the first. Is the first one the one with Casey?
Yeah.
Or is that the second one? Has the first one had Casey in it? Yeah. Yeah. That movie hit.
Right,
as a kid.
Right,
yeah, that's right. Because the second one had Super Shredder and Vanilla Ice, right?
Man, know. I don't remember what I said before. Like when MK was kind of interviewing me, I can't remember what I said. But then I sat there and I thought about it. And I was like, it's got to be the Ninja Turtles. It has to be.
You thought about it?
So anyway, no. Because
I thought the game came after the movie. Either way, it's still the same thing.
Yeah, and I think that was in like 88 or something like that. Or
it did.
I want to say it was like 87 or 88. Bebop and Rocksteady. Yeah.
God, I remember trying to fight. What is it?
I'm so disappointed
Rocksteady
with the
and...
fucking remake that they made, and then they actually incorporated Bebop and Rocksteady, but it's like they've just fucked up the whole like Ninja Turtles, bro. They didn't have no martial arts, no nothing. I'm like, this ain't Ninja Turtles, man. Yeah.
What is that? Yeah. Yeah. Now the first one set the bar. The second one, the bar came down a little bit because they tried to just be too hip and too fun. It was good, but it just didn't do what the first one did for me. And then everything after that,
it was like PG-13. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't. And then like every one after that, it kept on going down to like PG. To, kids. And it's just like by the time they got to 3, actually number 2 was actually pretty dope. Fucking Kino was whooping ass. That's the third one. That shit was trash.
What's the one where they go back in time?
That was like the first movie my dad took me to, and I did not.
Here's a lamp.
That movie, I hated it. They looked bro. They tried to make it more kiddish. You know,
they looked weird.
They had freckles on their faces and shit. Like, I mean, it was just.
They looked.
It was bad.
Weird.
But
yeah.
Right.
The thing is great.
And then like everybody was. It was like all different actors and shit. Like none of them were the same. It was like, what happened? Like. Don't get me wrong.
Because everybody else is like, "You're gonna give me a lamp." Fuck that. I'm sorry.
I had all the from the third movie. I had all the action figures, but they weren't my favorite. All right, so
of course you did.
It was yeah, bro. Like
you ain't Donnie. You're a ripoff.
Like the action figures from the second movie, they like made them like kind of like realistic Ninja Turtles. So they were like kind of. Like they weren't plastic anymore. Like they were fucking like rubbery, like feeling with like a little bit harder, like real looking shell. And it was just like so dope. And then they went back to like the hard fucking. It was bad. It was just all the way bad. But all right, so anyway, what you started your streaming, and since you've been streaming for a little bit now, like. What can you say that streaming has taught you? Like, what have you gotten from streaming that you can kind of incorporate to your everyday life?
I mean, it just feeds into my need to problem solve. Right? I think that's kind of like how I've made some new friends. It's also kind of like how I kind of got known through some other people as like before, like I would be able to solve people's issues, right? Like I've helped you with some of your setups and stuff like that because I just like problem solving. I just love problem solving, and streaming and content creation is riddled with audio issues, software issues. Just like every time you want to do something, something's going wrong and you have to figure it out on the fly. And I kind of like that. But honestly, like I said, I almost had like 2 different takes at it, right? Like the first time I was streaming, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why it was or anything like that. I kind of was feeding into it from a comedy perspective, right? Like I'm just here to bullshit and whatever, and it didn't connect with me at all. And now when I stream, it's kind of like I said, I kind of want to build a space. I haven't really been able to, like I'm only at 470 subs today, right? 471 or something like that. So, like, to say I have the community in the direction I want it to go is not there, but the idea that I want it to be, again, it goes back to like me embracing my name, right? Uno. It's I want to have a space where people can come and hang out and like one learn about video games. It's see what gaming should be, have a healthy space to go to. I'm kind of a I approach it like I would life now, right? Like I'm a dad, I have to find time to game. I want to make sure that people understand that's a normal thing these days. Like gaming, if you have the time, can be a priority, but if you don't have time, you know, you gotta prioritize shit, and it's okay to prioritize other things other than your hobbies and that you're passionate about, right? Like for me, I'm always gonna prioritize my family before I prioritize anything else. Like I'm a dad first, right? And sometimes being a dad means I have to do my job, right? So I can provide for the family, the life that I want to give them. But at the same time, for mental health, right? Like I have to have my hobbies, and so showing that you can have a life, you can have a family, and still game and have fun, and then give like a community a space to come into to like understand that and interact with that, feel safe, and develop relationships in that space. That's to me what streaming is, which I couldn't have adopted that mentality had I not had the conversations I've had with you and Average, where it was if tomorrow no one were to click view or click on a video, I would still do it for that one person, right? And I think you feed into this mentality more than anything now. With
Right.
You never know who is going to need your stream that day, right? Like I'm not on that level yet, but you never know who needed that talk, that space, that openness, that environment, right? Or maybe just that mental check out from reality and just come hang out kind of thing. Like you never know who needed that time. So for me, it's like I want to show people like how you can create that time. I want to be a place that they can come and spend that time. And I want to have the people around me and surround myself with the people that also build that space around themselves. Right? So like I'm very selective on who I spend my time with because I don't have time to spend. I like you, I'm extremely busy when I'm not hanging out. And so when I'm hanging out, I want to make sure that I'm hanging out with people like-minded that aren't going to take away from that time and make me like the last thing I want to do after a gaming session or a stream session is go, well, that was a loss of 2 hours of my life. That felt like shit, and I don't want that. And it just feeds into the stream. It just feeds into the channel.
Right.
And I don't want people to come into the channel and be like, well, that was a waste of 2 hours of my life too. Thanks, guy. So for streaming, that's what I've learned is create that environment, and give back more than I'm not in it to take anything. Like I recently did the donation thing where it was like on the thing and all that content. Money, and I went to the PCs to better build the content, right? Give a better stream quality. And I immediately turned around and did that. I stopped like all my free time, built a PC overnight, got all the software downloads. That took fucking forever. And already started implementing new stuff to that, right? Because I want people to be able to come in and get what they want.
That's good. And don't downplay your number of your community, because that is a big number. 400 plus people believing in you is it's a great feeling.
Enough to hit the subscribe button. I remember when I was at 30, dude. I remember when I was at 10 going, 1,000? I'm at 10. Like, I should just stop now. And I was like, no, keep going. And then I got to 30. I'm like, oh my God, 30 people. I could fill a party with 30 people. Like, I'm throwing a party every day I stream. This is kind of cool. I remember I got to 100 and I thought, like, all right, we're good. We're at 100. We're good. So no, I don't downplay the 471 at all. And I'm blown away every time I get on and I even have an active chat, because I remember streaming for 0 viewers, and I remember like it's so hard not to feel fake when like you're streaming and you're talking to nobody but waiting for that one person to come in and feel welcome. So you're still engaging on the off chance someone comes in.
Right.
You want them to.
Yeah.
Right, the VOD or whatever, right? So it was hard to start when it's a viewership of none, and it's I'd almost say it's even harder when it's a viewership of 1 or 2. Right? Because one, there's no names. You don't know if it's the same 1 or 2 people. You don't know if it's one person every 30 seconds hopping in and out, right? And especially when it's a non-interactive chat, like you don't know what they want. You don't know what's pissing them off. You don't know what's making them stick around, right? And so it's like golf, right? Like you got to think about everything, and then the moment you take your swing, you got to forget everything. And so I try not to look at the numbers. I try not to look at the viewer counts. I thank everybody for a like. I thank everybody for a subscribe. I thank everybody for any comments they add to the chat. But the number one thing is I focus on the mental space I'm bringing, the content that I'm producing, and then just making sure that if I have an opinion on something, it's not coming from nowhere, right? Like if I get mad at a game, like I want to make sure people understand it's like I'm not just frustrated because I'm like having a bad moment right now. Like what happened in this scenario that either I need to fix, the game development needs to fix, or we just need to move on from, right? Like so that people understand what to look for, right? In today's day and age, with the accusations that get thrown around so much, it's one of those things where I want to make sure that people understand, like, yeah, there's pros. Some of these pros aren't pros, and it's okay to question that. Like, you don't need to jump on everyone's bandwagon just to be on the bandwagon. Like, question it. Like, if it looks unreal, question it, right? But, like, also give room for the pros. Like, I remember I was way better at one time than I am now, and I pulled some shit out of my ass that like would definitely get me reported. It was not as consistent as some of these cats out there today, though, right? Like, and you would make a full-on video over like one massive thing you did, and you didn't go, watch me make a week-long series of me doing it.
Yeah, no. I wasn't trying to say like
no.
you are not appreciative or anything like that. I'm just saying that like I've seen your growth, and
I know you weren't.
I'm proud of your growth, and I know where your growth can go. So just like, don't think that you're at a low number, because out of nowhere your shit's gonna skyrocket. You know, and this is the same thing that I tell Shad or, you know, like anybody else that's out there streaming. Like, it only takes one day, it only takes one video. It only takes, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so like, it just, you know,
yep.
Like, just gotta keep up the grind.
No, and like 100%, like I remember, again, we kind of touched on it earlier. And again, I just because certain people aren't around to talk for themselves, I'm not going to go into too many specifics of it. We've had conversations. Average and I have had conversations, and I remember when I realized there was a real friendship between both me and you and me and Average separately. And I remember thinking, I don't want this to become, because in the first iteration of streaming, it was, again, like people aren't here to talk for themselves. It was not what it should have been. The friendships weren't forthright, and I didn't want my channel to be connected with your channel or his channel just for the sake of being connected, right? It's like, if I'm hanging out with you in a game and I'm hanging out with him in a game, let it just be. And I remember telling him for the first while, I'm like, that's it. Like, he would ask, like, are you streaming? And I felt really shitty answering that question. I was like, it's cool, dude. Pass. If I'd be streaming, I was like, I didn't want to say anything. Because it's kind of like when someone comes in your stream that you've never seen in your chat before and starts talking about their channel. right? It's not a self promotion because they're not saying, look, you go watch my video, but going into someone's stream that has 500 viewers going, right? Or someone who has, 10,000 subscribers and you know that they're going to get 500 views by the end of the day, and saying something like, oh yeah, when I was streaming the other day, I'm like, bro, I already know what you're doing. You're you're not slick, dude. Like, I've seen this shit. Don't use people. I used to be a club promoter. I know what marketing looks like. You ain't slick, right? And I'm like, I'm not trying to have friendships to market. That's not me, right? I'm gonna market my friends, but I'm not gonna have them market me, right? Like that's, I'm not about that, and I don't want to be viewed that way, right? And so it was kind of it was hard for me. Honestly, it was hard for me the first time Average had people come to my channel. I generally didn't know how to react. I didn't. Like, I think you could probably go back and watch the VOD. It's probably still up somewhere. And I thought something glitched in YouTube. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I think my viewership count is fucked up. And then he starts laughing. I was like, what did you do? And I was like almost mad. I was like, no, don't do this. Because I never wanted to get to a point where he could look back and be like, you used me. And I'm like, no. Like, no. Like, no. Like, no. I don't want to have that friendship. I genuinely have friendships with people. I don't want to have that kind of mentality. And so I remember when we and you started playing, I was like, fuck. Like, I don't want this guy to think this, like, same thing. Like, what kind of friendship does he have with Average first? And then, like, what is he trying to get from me? And I'm like, nah, man. Like, that's why when me and you would play, I didn't stream for a while. Like, you did. Are you streaming? Like, nah, man, I ain't streaming. Because I didn't want to have that, like, connection. I wanted to just game with you. That was it. And I wanted to make sure it was clear. I just want to game with you. We have the same KD. Me and you play the same style. Like, I like your... You know, like I trust your flanking. Like, when you say, yeah, I'm coming, I don't second guess if you're coming or if you're going to be like, yeah, I'll be over there when it's on my time. I trust your game style and I trust your logic, and I genuinely have a good time feeding on your energy. So I wanted to make sure that we gamed together for a while and, like, we built that, like, rapport, right? And then there was just sometimes it's like, fuck, I got to stream. And then you'd be like, you streaming? Yeah. So I say all that, and it's like, yeah, I have 471 subs, but at no point in time am I even going to try and front like I got there alone. Like, I wanted to at first, and one of the things that kind of got me mad when Average did what he did the first time was like, you kind of took that away from me. But then I swallowed that. Like, I'm not even mad at that now. Like, I'm not even upset about it in the slightest bit, because no one ever gets anywhere in life alone. Right? And those that try and say that they did everything on their own are bullshitting themselves. 100%. Like, you can do a lot on your own and you do a lot by yourselves. Yeah. But don't be afraid to, one, ask for help, and don't be afraid to take help. Right? And don't be ashamed of it. Right? If it's genuine. And at no point in time has any of the assistance I've gotten from you or Average, has it ever been disingenuine. And it's been the biggest blessing I've ever had to do something like this and get that kind of support. And I don't forget that, right? And so we're talking like it just takes that one day, right? If tomorrow Dr. Disrespect and you were to get into a random team up and you get discovered, you're not going to get pissed off at Dr. Disrespect for blowing your name up. And it's like, why would I get mad at you and Average for doing basically the same fucking thing? But right?
It can be life-changing even if... No, stop it. All right, so...
Dude, you are, though.
I honestly understand where you're coming from, and I think more people feel that way than you think. Like, I feel like Jeezy, because I'm always asking him, are you streaming? And I think he doesn't want to stream because he doesn't want... But I know Jeezy...
That connection.
Like, me and Jeezy have built a friendship as well. So it's like, I know that he's not trying to take my community. You know what I'm saying? Just like I know that you're not trying to. I know that Shad isn't trying. I know that Average, even though average has a larger
Right.
community, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's no, like it's a genuine friendship to where it's not like somebody's in there and they're trying to sneaky promote. And so like when Jeezy he won't still stream, but I always tell him like, yo, bro, you should stream. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think he's still, he wants to build it on his own. And I think that's great. And the thing is like, I can't even really send my viewership to him because I'm not on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? So like, but you know, I get what you're saying. And, look, I wouldn't be anywhere where I'm at if it wasn't for, bro. I had One Shot Girl. I don't know if you know who One Shot Girl is. She was a huge YouTuber. She moved over to Twitch. She had 500,000+ on YouTube. She played PUBG as well. She rated me like 5 times, bro. 3 of those times she rated me as I was ending my stream. So I end my stream and then the raid comes through and I'm like, fuck! No, are you serious? Like hundreds of people coming over from her community. You know what I'm saying? And I just hit the end stream button. I'm like, fuck. And then I had Stat. I don't know if you know who Stat is, but he is spelt like 5 tat, but it's called Stat. He was a big time YouTuber as well. He moved over to Twitch. I think that kind of killed his channel, but he had like 300,000+ on YouTube, and he would raid me. And then Average would raid me. You know what I'm saying? I even had this guy named Savage. He's on Twitch now, but he was a big he's he was like big into PUBG, but now he's in the Call of Duty. He rated me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like a bunch of content creators are just trying to help others build, because like you said, like we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all like-minded. We're all grinding the same type of grind, and we know how tough it is. Yes. And we know how tough it is.
We've all had a day one.
When we build these friendships, we want to help each other out because that's what you do as friends. You help each other out, right? So,
yep. It's a tough time because the market's so super saturated with streaming and content creators just trying to come up easy that you just don't want to have someone be like, oh, you just came in my chat one day to try and get it like that, right? And it's like, especially when you meet somebody when you're starting, right? Because me and you literally met when I started over. And I was like, I think I had 130 to my name when me and you first met. You know, and it's been like 2 years, maybe, right? Like about 2 years. And it's like, I'd much rather have someone like you solid on deck when I just log in to have my gaming session. Because like I said, I don't have time, right? And I don't want to go have a gaming session that at the end of those like 2-3 hours I get, I'm like, fuck, that sucked. I didn't have anybody I can count on. My team sucked. I had no communication. There's a bunch of randos with no fucking mic. I'm like, I'm trying to get back into gaming. I was like, all right, this dude Jewelz is fucking dope. Like, dope. Personality-wise and his tactic-wise is fucking dope. And I remember the first time I looked into your stats, I remember I hit you, I was like, bro, we're the same fucking player. Like me and you are the same fucking player, bro, like to a T. Like, we got the same stats and everything. And I was like, this is fucking mind-blowing. I was like, I want to play with you. I was like, fuck, I don't want to fuck that shit up. Like, we're not even going to talk about, like, channels. We're not going to talk about nothing like that. And then I just remember you started talking, like, audio issues. Like, oh, have you tried this? And I started, like, problem solving, right? And I'm like, cool. But it was like, yeah, like, exactly. Like, what you're talking about with Jeezy, it probably is the same. It's probably the same thing that went through my head at the first time. It's like, nah, man, I want you to make that connection. I don't want you to think it was ever anything other than I just want to hang out with somebody like-minded, right? And like even yesterday's snipe, like we laugh and we bullshit with each other, right? but there's no like
Right.
actual hatred. Like we were joking, like, oh, he better not be stream sniping coming after us, kind of shit.
Right.
There's none of
'Cause you
that
already
is
know,
like
like, there's
legit,
been
genuine. It's just
stuff out
boys
there
being
where people
boys,
are,
bullshitting with
you
boys.
know, like, right. But like, like,
questionably.
right. And Jeezy, like, I
Yeah,
played that
we
clip
run
back,
into
and
Jeezy
you know,
once
we're
every
all
3
laughing
hours.
together. I'm sure he's chuckling too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just all fun and games. Like, I know that, like, I hit a right, and I hit the luckiest fucking snipe shot
How would we know we're
I've
shooting at
ever
him?
had, and he knows it. You know it. We all know it. But it was just funny to be like, because he was talking shit earlier, like, you know, right, and then like, oh, don't you know. You're easy.
Remember that shot on Uno?
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So then it was, right, like,
And then from across the room,
yeah, that was.
the map doesn't get any bigger than that spot, bro. That was like quintessential. But it's like that's what I'm talking about, right? Like we have built those connections, right? Like I mean, you and Jeezy go much further back than me and Jeezy. And even I feel comfortable enough with Jeezy to be bullshitting with the guy, right? So it's like, I know where he's coming from probably. With if he feels that way, like he's probably like, I like that camaraderie and I don't want to lose that shit to something stupid as like, oh, you used me.
Well,
when it ain't even like that, right? So, again, 471 on my name, but it comes from you and average. Like it doesn't come more from the other. It literally is both of you. Not even like just the raids, right? Like I said, like a lot of that shit comes from the talks that we have, like that keep my mentality in the right direction. So it's not just about raiding. It's the mentality of building somebody up, right? And like I think in that aspect, you support Shad that way.
I would hope well,
more
like,
than anybody I've
here's
seen
the
in
thing,
his
man.
chat.
Like, people don't know how good of a dude Shad is. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't know. You can't tell by his stream. His stream does no justice to who he is as a person.
No, but
bro,
if you game with that
bro.
dude,
like, this dude,
fuck, 5 minutes.
So genuine, bro. Like when my dad passed,
The dude's the most genuine guy I've met in a long time.
Did you not? This dude hit me up every fucking day, every day, and
Oh, I bet, and I bet you he had some of the most like heartfelt messages and just like,
bro.
almost like
Here's the thing,
without
like,
even trying, just bullshit
did,
conversations
but
with you.
At the same time, he knew that I needed space at the same time as also being there for me. You know what I'm saying? And that means a lot. Like he's not pushing and he's not pulling. He's just there. And
he's just there. It's like we were talking about, like, you know, going to a movie sometimes with somebody. It's just about knowing that energy is there for you. You don't need to be interacting, right? Like, we've all had that time to be there for somebody, and yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had a few good moments with Shad, you know, and like we've talked family stuff, and I know where he comes from on a bunch of shit, and bro, like he's a family dude.
He never stops, bro.
Grinds,
he never complains.
like on the daily. Like the dude, you ain't like I've been fortunate enough to have. I got some homies in this area that are very much like Shad. Few, and I do not mean like there's a lot of people out there like Shad. No. Like I mean I have met a few homies in my life like him, and they're a blessing. Like Shad in your life is a blessing to have, and like I think he comes into the chat same way like you would want any best friend to come in. He doesn't let you get away with no bullshit. He'll hold you to a level that you don't hold yourself to, right? But it all comes from the most heartfelt space ever. And it's like, yeah, you only hope like someone like him with the grind and the heart and everything gets like a Tim the Tap Man kind of exposure day. Like we were talking about that one kid you were talking about, like just he needs to have that kind of blessing overnight, blow his life up.
I definitely agree with you, but I feel like that for everybody in my circle, bro. Everybody in my circle that is genuine and grinds on the daily, I think that they need a life-changing raid like that. You know what I'm saying? And that even goes for myself. Like I feel like I deserve that shit. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm not gonna bank.
You're overdue. That's the difference.
Grind like I was fucking at 100. You know what I'm saying? But like I want you to blow up. I want you to do what you love. I want Shad to do what he loves. I want Jeezy to do what he loves. I want to do what I love. I want Average to do what he loves. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I fucking grind every day, is because I want the next person in my circle or in my community to say, Jewelz did it. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even have to be about gaming. It could be about anything. But I just want them to see.
Right.
Because what's the motto, bro? You got to practice what you preach, right? And so, like, if I'm not practicing my shit, I can't preach it to you because you're not gonna believe it if you ain't seeing it. So that's you know, like that's why, like, even if, you know, like 20 years down the line, I'm still gonna be fucking doing this shit, bro. Because no matter what, I'm gonna be a hero to my fucking kids. I'm gonna be a hero to my kids, and they're gonna say, "Yo, my dad."
It's your passion.
He loves.
It's your passion.
Maybe I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a generational thing, man. But I'm gonna segue into something that you brought up earlier. And I want to see, what are your thoughts on gaming? Like, what are your thoughts on the state of gaming and these hackers out here, bro? And I don't want to talk like too long about it because obviously we're going pretty, but like we've had our conversations about it.
No, yeah.
And so let's.
The long and short of it, right, is I genuinely think, especially as of like this year, like really it's kind of it's coming to it's coming to a pretty big headway, right? Like it's starting to become a massive problem. So much so that I think that they're normalizing hacks. In that it used to be very easy for someone to be like, "Oh, you're clearly hacking, dude. You're not just good. You've surpassed good. You're not great. You've surpassed even great. You are now consistently defeating the odds that are hard designed into this game, right? Like if bullet bloom for a certain gun is supposed to look like this, and your bullet grouping is this, you have defeated the coding. There's only one way to do that. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Like, you've defeated the coding. Even Shroud wasn't that good, right? Like, in CSGO, one bullet did it, right? We're not talking about bullet bloom anymore, right? So when you talk about these games that have bullet bloom, and you're better than that, what the fuck, right? They've normalized it to the point where it's almost expected now that if you're not getting 20 plus kills per game, you're irrelevant. And it's like, timeout. It's not normal. It is not normal to find 20 plus people in one lobby consistently.
Right.
Everyone has that game where you maybe found 5.
Right.
Like, you can run around like a chicken with your head cut off, still only find 5 people alive. I've done it. I've literally gone end to end in Warzone and ran into 5 people in an entire match.
Yeah.
So how are these cats running into 20 plus people? 20 plus, right? Because here's the deal. they get 20 kills, and so do the other 30 guys that they're running with. So they ran into 40 fucking people in one match? Of 100?
150
Statistically,
players,
that's impossible.
80 kills.
One time, sure. One
Every
time
game.
in it.
Yeah.
Every game. Every game. That is a statistic anomaly. That just, I don't need to watch that channel anymore. I just look at those cats going, I don't, you can't tell me you're not running something.
Bro, I saw this.
Right? Like,
I saw this
whatever.
girl the other day, right? And I clicked on her stream on Twitch. I'm not going to name her name or anything like that. And I'm watching her, and she's really good, right? And I'm not seeing any, I'll hit you up and I'll be like, this person's hacking, this person's hacking. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see any of that because you would have got the video. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She moves good. Her shooting is natural. Everything is really, really good. Like really, really good. But she's hacking in the sense of a VPN. So I'm a fucking detective. So I go type in her COD tracker shit. And she's putting up these 30 kill games in a .58 lobby. Who the fuck gets a .58 lobby, bro? Like, and I mean, like, this was like every fucking game, bro. Like, every game.
And that's what I mean by normalizing hacks.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean by normalizing hacks, right?
It is.
VPNing is a hack.
Right.
I have a modem. It's this guy back here. It's our Asus Rapture. Apparently, you can do network geographical shit or whatever. I couldn't fucking tell you how to set that shit up because I don't want to look into it. It's not something I'm into. I hooked that thing up because fucking Comcast was fucking me with their rental thing that couldn't run shit, and I needed something that could guarantee run everything in my house at the highest speed possible. And I don't want to talk about it. So I bought the most expensive fucking modem I could find. Come to find it can do some of that shit. But fuck that. Because VPNing, there's a difference between VPNing and then whatever the Net Duma thing is. Where you're, I think this. Right, where you basically put yourself in a Hawaii lobby, right? Where you choose the zone that you're in because you want to have like cake lobbies and shit like that, right?
Right.
No. Play the game as it's designed. That's all I'm asking. Like player v player. There's already enough meta shit. There's already enough perk shit.
And
I don't need to go up against you and perks and other shit, right?
And you're benefiting from your hacking, bro, because guess what? You get your 30 kill games and you're going to get fucking 50 subs, paid subscribers on Twitch because you did that, right? Somebody's going to gift you 20. The other people that are watching are going to be like, oh, I'm going to use my Prime and this and that. And then you get to make that into a YouTube video. And then you get to get more subscribers. And then you get to get more ad revenue. Like, it's like, and then when they say, why would I cheat? What is my benefit of cheating? Money! And that's all that they're... Everything that do, all of that, bro.
All of that.
Sponsorships.
Yeah.
Clout.
All of that.
Getting fucking recognized by other
clout,
content
right? That's the new thing.
Clout.
Clout.
Help your channel grow. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Well, so now you're talking where I was going to go into, right? This is where the problem has snowballed. It literally is a snowball effect. You had content creators that developed based on hacks. They know what they did. So, of course, they're not going to have a problem playing with someone who does the same thing. They're not going to call them out on it. They're going to welcome in. Because what does that do for them? It makes them legitimate.
We're all
Oh, no. I'm not hacking. Because, look, here's another guy who's doing the same thing. We both can't be hacking. Yes, you can. Exactly. So now you've normalized it, right? So now they build up other streamers that are doing the same thing to normalize it, right? And what it becomes is it's the biggest con that is out there right now, and that's what it is because it's a con. I'm tricking you into giving me time in viewers, right? Whether or not I sub, Prime sub, pay you out of my own money, I'm still paying you in time and viewership.
Playing the game genuinely.
That I could be giving someone like you. Right? Like, you are earning ad revenue on your viewers. Whether or not they pay you out of their pocket, your channel is monetized. Every view counts, and time spent viewing your channel will help you some way, some form. But right now, YouTube, Twitch, and everything else is so saturated that it's like community divide, right? The community is so saturated with content and other places for people to view. Your channel gets pushed off because of these other cats that are conning people out of the views from you. They're being tricked into watching this content because it does look exciting, more exciting than yours, because they are putting up the gunfights more often. They're getting 20 gunfights to a match to your 5 or 10. Your big fucking match is 15. That's to them, right? Like, you're getting conned out of views by these cats, and no one's calling it what it is. It's a con, right? Now you pull it into what it becomes, right? It's exactly what you talked about. You're getting sponsorships that are being conned into sponsoring you. You're getting donations from people for, like, oh, let me hit these what is it? $2 donos per kill.
Right.
You just con someone out of fucking, what is it? $20 for 10 kills that you didn't fucking do. Even if you're just VPNing.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Go get those same kills in a lobby that you earn, not VPN'd into. Tell me that you get the same $20. Like, oh, give me $10 per kill. Now it's $200, right? Like, fuck off. For those 20 kill lobbies, fuck off, dude. You didn't earn any of that. You didn't earn the viewership. You didn't earn the respect for that. You didn't earn any of that. But you want it. Like, you feel like you are, because now you go and you listen to some of these kids now, and they're like, you owe me for the content, the time and energy I put into my stream and the content. You owe me this. It's like, they don't owe you shit.
Right.
You owe them everything because they
players
chose to come click on you.
But it's just like any other
but because you conned them.
Profession, basketball, football, right? Like, there's fucking pros, and you think you can match up with the pros until you actually get out there with the fucking pros, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm a very good basketball player, okay? You put me on the court with fucking
you go stand next
players,
to Stephen Curry,
NBA basketball
and it's
players,
game over.
I can't fucking compete. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you put me,
you're probably not going to take it. You're probably not going to take 3 steps with the ball,
right? I can kind of compete with them a little bit. They're still really, really good,
right?
And they play against, they're pro, but they're not the highest league
pro,
right? And then you got like the players that played college ball, but they're not really, they got their everyday life too,
right?
And now it's like, okay, well, I'm hooping with y'all, and I'm holding my own. I have D1 level. Like, skill, I just don't have D1 height. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can still compete. And then it's like, so I'm saying there's levels to this shit. And then there's too many fucking content creators. There's too many players that are at the pro level.
There's too many shrouds today.
Not all fucking pros, bro. Like, I don't care. like there's just levels to this shit is basically all I gotta say. But anyway,
that's exactly it, though, right? Like, and everyone now is too scared to call it what it is. No, that's exactly it, though, right? Like, and everyone now is too scared to call it what it is. And then people like me and you, when we call out like big name people, we're paranoid or jealous or whatever else it is, and it's like,
gaming,
no, we've literally grown up since the day and age
revolutionized gaming
of gaming. Like,
every fucking era, we were we started with the gaming.
We've watched it. We watched it grow. We watched what it became. We know the greats. We know what they look like. We know how to identify a great. And sure, even me and you fell for the fucking con for a while from some of these cats, right? Like, shit, some of these people made it on the big stage and got caught there, and some of them didn't get caught until after. Right? So to see even like the top level pros are getting caught, you can't deny that some of these streamers then that come up overnight
sensations, bro,
who are also getting caught. Like, we know it. We already know it. So
they get their life fucking changed, bro.
That's all it is, right? And they see the easy
grind that we do. That's the irritating part. Yeah. Right. And
so there's no respect. There's no respect for the grind.
Right.
Then they start putting out videos like how to grow your channel overnight. It's like, don't pour salt on that wound, buddy. Just move on and take your 10 minutes of fame. Because here's the thing, right? You were talking to like there's great players and all that jazz. Think about today, Choco Taco, Shroud. If they were to come to the table today, do they still hold the same relevance that they once did? Like, they're almost not even names anymore.
Here or there, but they're not going to have consistent 30 kill games every fucking time that they, start their stream. Like,
right.
And nobody's going to click on something that doesn't have fucking 30 kills.
And when you start looking at the generational players, right? Like you talked about like NBA and stuff like that. When you start talking about the Michael Jordans of streaming now are fading to obscurity to these
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like there's still
we have a
young,
problem.
Like Choco Taco and fucking Shroud. Shroud's like fucking
I
don't know, like 28 years old, 29 maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I was in my gaming prime at 28, 29 years old. So like And I'm sure that they see it too, but they don't want to say nothing and that's the fucking thing. Like, nobody wants to say anything. They're like, oh, whatever, who cares? They're fucking cheating, And it's like, no, it's not who fucking cares, because they're making a living off of fucking cheating the system. And they're
well, it's not even. Let's take the monetary part of it out, right? Let's take the monetary side of it out, just so that, because I feel like a lot of people get hung up. It's like you're just hating on them because they're making money, right? Like, okay, fine, we'll take the monetary part of this thing out. What are they doing to gaming? That was your question. How do I feel about the gaming community right now as it pertains to hacking?
Right.
Again, that you have literally destroyed games, right? And here's the thing, developers aren't listening anymore to those that are actually talking about the problems in games, because they're like, what are you talking about? I got this guy over here marketing for us, streaming, putting up fucking tons of games. He's having a great old time. You're just mad because you suck, probably. Like, the game's fine. We don't need to fix shit in the game. It's like, I am genuinely playing your game. I am watching these issues. I'm watching the collision issues, your coding issues. Yeah. I'm watching my gun as I ADS turn into a fucking blossom of fucking pixels. Like, don't tell me your game's fucking fine. Fix your fucking shit. But, like, the problem is the developers have gotten rid of video game testers because we got content creators now to do our testing. We've now entered the realm of beta testing and alpha testing from streamers and gamers as content game development, right? Well, that's fine if the guys doing the beta testing and alpha testing aren't hacking that, because we've seen that too. They are hacking the beta and the alpha.
They're generating hacks with it.
So when the game's being developed and coded, these issues aren't being. They're not listening to the people. Yeah, like, you're not listening to the people that are actually looking at your game development. And that's why I like Mini Royale, right? Like, they literally have a bug section. Like, hey, tell us what's wrong with the game. They send me a clip of it, right? Show me it fucking up. Cool. These big name gamer, Activision, Blizzard, and DICE have literally gone away. They do not have game testers like they once did, where they're paying like $10, $15 an hour for kids to come and have fun. But try and wreck the game and tell us what's wrong with the map so we go back. Like, go watch Grandma's Boy. That was an actual job, right? And like, I'm out here in the Bay Area. I had friends do that shit. That doesn't happen anymore. They do these beta tests, and these fucking cats go out there and they go, yeah, it's great. I fucking wrecked hella people. Release it. And that's how you have fucking games like Battlefield 2042 do a patch release where the mouse doesn't work. Of course, you weren't using your mouse. You were using a fucking Cronus. Like, duh. How did we miss that, guys? Oh, well. Oh, we can't. We don't want to talk about how we missed that. That's where we're at now. That's what the normalization of hacking has that's what it's done to the gaming community, right? And some other business choices within some of these bigger companies, but that's what it's done. Like, it's made, you used to be able to get a Call of Duty game on disc,
right,
and it was done. We didn't have to sit there and wait for patch release to fix XYZ. I mean, that was it. That was it. You might have a spot on a map that if you like jumped a bunch of times, you could fall underneath the map.
Yeah.
Guess what happened?
Now you
couldn't shoot anybody from down there.
Restart the goddamn game.
You were stuck under the map. Good luck, dummy. Right? Or like I remember, yeah, like Modern Warfare 2, I think had a map where you could get on top of a building.
Right.
You were still in a playable spot where other people could shoot you. It just became part of the map that everyone knew to get to. So it wasn't like a hack that like outplayed somebody. It was either you learned it or you learned how to counter it. That was it. But it wasn't like aimbotting, right? Like, you're not aimbotting. Aimbot existed back there, by the way. I'm sure, you know, and we had issues like that, and so did wall hacks. But it wasn't normalized, you know, and streaming has normalized it. It has. You got people that are like, here's their gaming monitor. This is their stream monitor. Why are we looking over here hard left? What are we looking at over here, buddy? Like, you're over here talking to your chat,
but
and then you're over here looking at something else.
Look, bro, like a lot
you're
of
killing
these
somebody.
content creators.
You're looking over there. Oh, you're going around this corner. You're killing somebody.
Monitor, right? I got a 27-inch, right? All right, so look. Right, so this is me playing. This is the middle of the screen.
I got 27-inch in front of me, and I'm looking right at you the whole time.
That's my mini map. Not this. What? And yes, I do have another screen here.
Not all the way over here. This is me looking at a whole nother screen.
So that, you know, like, how do you? How? I just don't get it. Anyway,
they're not slick, dude. I mean, they're slick to these kids that don't know what to look for.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to get into streaming, what would be the advice that you would give them?
Never update Windows.
That's a very good, yeah.
Ever turn off auto update. Just never update Windows. Leave it the day you started streaming. Leave it alone. Your audio settings will get fucked every day. No, honestly, it's the best advice I got from you. It's the best advice I got from Average. It's the same advice I continue to this day. Don't stream for any other audience other than the audience of you. Do what you want to see. Stream what you want to stream. Put out the content you want, right? Make the videos you want to watch. Make the community you want to be in, right? Like, don't create a community to have it. Make the community that you want to be invited into. Like in all aspects. Don't do it for someone else. Think of it as like, if I were to go and search YouTube, what do I want to find? Oh, I should go make that. If you're dead serious about making a video, go make the video that you're trying to search for. If you're trying to make a community by streaming, what community are you looking for? Like, what kind of like minds are you looking for? Go make it. Go bring them. right? Like, I mean, me and you are movie guys. Go build the field of dreams that you want, right? If you build it, they'll come. That's the advice you guys gave me, and it keeps me going. I feel like it's the healthiest version of streaming. Sure, there are those that we just talked about that are genuinely only into it to go and make money, right? Like maybe you're an aspiring actor, right? I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm not saying that's wrong. Maybe you're an aspiring actor, right? If you want to be in acting, content creation is that, right? Look at Dr. Disrespect. That's Guy Beam is not Dr. Disrespect. He is an actor. He is a character. Dr. Disrespect is a character. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that is absolutely a reason to stream or build a channel, because you want that character. You want to be that character. Go be that character and bring it to everyone and see who
good advice,
needed that character in their life.
I totally agree. I mean, you basically just gotta do it for yourself because you enjoy it. And when people see that you're enjoying what you're doing, then they believe in what you're doing as well. So, anyway, yo, man, it was a few hours, but it didn't feel like a few hours. Like, this was a lot of fun just getting on here chatting with you and talking gaming.
That's kind of why I wanted to make sure we had time set aside. I wanted to make sure we sat down and bullshit. I didn't want to just. I didn't want to just answer some bullshit questions and move on. But I wanted to hang out with you.
Support. it goes a long way, and I appreciate your friendship as well. So, thank you, yo. Make sure that you tell everybody where they can find you, socials or the channel.
I mean,
like, I'm also gonna link that stuff down in the description, but just go ahead and let them know where they can find you.
So you can find me on YouTube at I think it's UNO707 YouTube /UNO707.com or YouTube.com/UNO707. I also have a Facebook gaming page. Look for Uno. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a link there to the Facebook page. I'm trying to get more active on the Facebook page to update with the schedule. Basically, my schedule though right now is Saturdays with this man, Jewelz. Saturday mornings or afternoons, depending on what the family life allows me to do, and ideally Tuesday nights, right? But I mean, like I said before, I like gaming with you. So every chance I get, I am hitting you up on Messenger and be like, "Oh, are we gaming tonight or what? Like, what's up?" Like, and you got your life as well. Sometimes it's a solo night for me, and sometimes, me and you get down, and sometimes the rarity happens where me, you, and Average all line up, and that's what I'm here for. I want to have fun with my homies and game doing that. But more importantly, dude, I want to thank you for reaching out to me to do this with you. I was like, man, I got like 2 years before I'm going to be on this thing with him.
Just got, the person who was up was too big, but he's super busy. That dude works more than fucking all of us combined. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm just like, let me just start going through and picking people that are
right.
I know that they're gonna be. They'll set aside some time to make it happen, and I think I'll be reaching out to Jeezy next, and then Rena after that. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, I'm you're welcome, and thank you for being on here. It means a lot.
Likewise, brother. And I mean, the support just comes from a natural place of I genuinely enjoy hanging out with you, but also when I'm basically, I feel like when I'm watching your videos or watching your past streams, I feel like I'm just hanging out. That's the environment that you built, and that's what attracted me. So my support is almost comes from a place of selfishness. It's like, hell yeah, I got a homie right now.
Yeah.
Who puts out really fucking dope ass shirts. I still need to get that hat.
All right, so everybody, thank you guys
I
so
gotta
much
get
for
the
tuning in. Like I said, go check out my boy
All right, brother.
Uno and show him some love. Hit the sub button. Check out his stuff. If you enjoy it, hit the sub button, and make sure you turn on notifications for him as well. And also, if there's somebody new watching this, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. We're gonna be doing more podcasts, and I got more content coming from a lot of other games. And yeah, I'm like about to go into straight up grind mode again. No sleep, just grinding all day and night. So thank you guys for tuning in. And okay,
I got a challenge for your viewers. Real quick before it goes along with what you're doing. I got a challenge for every single person in here. Share this video or your favorite Jewelz video to your social media of choice.
11.
This man needs to hit 11,000
10
subs.
10 days. Today's the 20th.
I think it's
10 days.
12 days. Right? 11 days for this man's birth. 10 days. He's got 10 days to hit 11,000 subs. He's almost there, right? He's got 10,000 plus of you. All you got to do is share this one time. We can get 300 subs out of that. Share this everywhere you can, or at least to one social media of your choice. I dare you. Show some support by not just hitting this like, but hit the like button for sure. Share it. Put this man on blast. Get him out there. Find your favorite video, not just this one. Share it. Bring people in here. This man deserves to be blown up.
You see that? He just mic dropped.
That's my challenge.
But all right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I will see y'all in the next video or live stream. Peace.